Hello, good evening, and welcome. You are through to the Inview. Yes, the Inview is a spectacular show with a vast array of different guests in it. My apologies, there wasn't an Inview Connect on Thursday. That will resume this Thursday coming. We will bring back the Inview Connect, which is your show, remember, where it is very much about what you want to talk about. And it doesn't have to be about coronavirus. It can be about anything you want to talk about, basically. It's fantastic. Be here again with you. I always enjoy doing this show. I enjoy doing the show because it is something very different in the stream of entertainment, knowledge, and wisdom that we try and bring to you. That's not just from myself, but obviously from all the guests that come on this show. I'm just a facilitator, really. I hope you're all I hope you had a good week. I'm not being sarcastic in saying that because obviously we're still in a prison celled place, if you like. And I do know right now, at 7 o'clock, I am going head to head with Boris at this moment in time. So I don't expect to have many people here immediately, but I will be keeping an eye on the news to bring you up to date what's happening. Boris and his cronies in 10 Downing Street. I don't feel we're going to have any massive revelations. I think that we've been told a lot of things already in the last couple of days that they're going to do. And I do feel we're going to sit in a situation that we're sitting in right now for at least another month, if not a couple of months, to be honest. And, we have to ask ourselves questions here because the death rates are going down. Other countries are coming out of lockdown. How long do you keep people caged in their houses? Now, if you can say, well, actually, you're not caged in a house, you can go out. Well, you can, but astoundingly, I'm going to tell you something about where they're going to change the penalties for you being outside, and it made my blood boil earlier on when I read it. But to let you know who's on the show tonight, we have got another very, very, very mixed array of guests on, extremely good from all walks of life. Remember, the show is quite spiritual, so we head for a spiritual sense to things, a light sense, if you like, in relation to what's going on in the world, away from mainstream education, away from mainstream news, which is fear porn, basically. But it is starting to change. And I did have, before I tell you that, I did have a message because I have been banging on about it a while, actually. Not just the homeless and everything else, but also about the people that are flooded in Yorkshire. Now, somebody sent me a message through earlier on, not that long ago, actually, that they were shocked. And I'd like to say well done to ITV News, who are actually reporting on the flooded victims, the flooded properties in Yorkshire when we had all that rain months ago. And apparently they are living in absolute squalor. It's a disgrace. So, Boris Johnson and your government, hang your head in shame yet again. This is the most incompetent bunch of idiots I've ever known in my life. Now, I'll come back to that in a minute because he's made my blood boil, Boris. He's speaking to the nation right now. He's speaking to you right now. He ain't going to tell you anything. He's a buffoon. Right. Clown, in actual fact. The guests on the show tonight. We, of course, News of the Week, which we're in at the moment. 7:15 tonight. We have got the second time on the show, Susan Hallwell, who is a channeler, healer, gives guidance through animal, angel, and flower essence cards. Offers a wide range of bespoke treatments. And interestingly, we spoke about this before. She's also published Stranger in My Own Skin about going through a breakdown through menopause with no medication. I mean, that is like mad, isn't it? Everyone thinks you need this, you need that, but she did it through no medication. So we're obviously bringing that up again with her. 7:45, I've just seen her online. She's on Facebook Live doing readings and things. Karen Jane Price, who's international clairvoyant with an extraordinary gift, 25 years of experience, and she can provide guidance and can guide guidance on anything within the realms of reading of the cards and helping you through any journeys that you need to go through. In other words, questions you ask and people to come through. 8:15 tonight, the return of Teresa Sell, an intuitive astrologer. She will be here to bring us our stars for the month of May. Now, I know that might be difficult because obviously we're all in lockdown, but that doesn't mean that there isn't changes going on. And there is real changes going on at the moment. A lot of people are suffering from dizziness, nausea, all manner of different things. And I know that they keep saying it's nothing to do with 5G or what they spray in the sky and all sorts. But there are elements of interference in our own flow of energy, I feel, on our planet, which comes from things that's been enforced upon us, like the enforced lockdown. Teresa Sell is also a Reiki practitioner, natural mindfulness guide, and she also that is a medium as well. So she's on 8:15. Then 8:40, we got a brand new person coming on the show that's not been on before. Young Caroline Lewis, multi-dimensional healer, spiritual coach, and self-development mentor. Now, Caroline is with Louis Lewis. I like to wish her a late. I did wish him a happy birthday on his 50th birthday. But congratulations to you, Louis Lewis. And I see you got a nice cake and everything. So that's lovely. So we have Caroline on about 8:40 tonight. And 9:10 tonight, 9:10, we have got International Man of Mystery. Now, that could be one of many different people. So I have no idea who it is right now at all. And most importantly, this is your show as well. So if you want to put comments in the comments box, we've got 32 subscribers now. I know this is relatively new still. We moved from Facebook Live to YouTube Live because the sound and the pitch quality and everything is so much better. And if you notice, I've had a bit of a trim up, which is very nice. So I look quite slick. I feel quite slick, and I've got that weight off my head and stopped looking like a missing link or a prehistoric man. So yes, you can put comments in here if you want to have any say on anything the guests talk about tonight. You can Facebook message me with comments, or you can text me on 07403 436 942. Obviously, text me because I'm going to be on the phone to guests. I'll read them out after. So if you'd like to put it on Facebook Messenger to Clint Denyer or to YouTube in the comments box here, that'd be great. Now, what really got my goat this week, actually today, not only we're in a very precarious, we had originally £30 fines that police were dishing out all over the place. If you were caught outside doing something you shouldn't have been, i.e., if you're sitting on a bench watching a sunset, you aren't doing your once a day exercise, you are going to visit people, you're going to do all sorts of things. Well, that's changing. And this must be because the police actually can't catch motorists now because no motorists on the road. So therefore, their revenue from speed cameras have gone down the pan, obviously. But now, from £30, if you are caught outside and you haven't got a good enough reason why you're there, sounds almost draconian. It sounds like Fourth Reich material. If you are outside and you haven't got a good enough reason to be outside, away from your house, if you haven't got it, just take that on board. You haven't got a good enough reason to a police officer of why you're outside your house. That was originally £30 fine. That is now going to be £100 fine. Now, if you're caught twice, that's going to be £200 fine. If you're caught 3 times, you are caught 4 times at your house. So the police catch you 4 times and you've been accosted 3 times, it's going to cost you £800. Now, if you are unlucky enough to be caught 5 times, have a guess how much that is. So you've gone out the house and you know you took your chance. You've been caught 4 times already. You paid, by which time you would have paid about £1,500. It's 1,600 quid you have to pay if you're caught the 5th time. Doesn't end there. If you go outside and you're caught for the 6th time, this is 6 times you've gone outside and the policeman stop you and say, "What are you doing out here?" and you say, well, I'm going for a walk, and they said, well, no, we've watched you already, you've gone for a walk, or I'm going to the supermarket, but you haven't gone to the supermarket, and you haven't got a good enough excuse, and you've been outside now 6 times, the police will issue a fine of £3,200. £3,200 because you're outside your house and haven't got a good enough excuse for being there. It's a disgusting disgrace. Now, what's even more alarming is the fact that if you do not pay any of these, that is once, £100, twice, 200, 3 times 400, 5 times 800, 5 times, sorry, 1,600, and the 6th one, 300, 3,200. So say, for instance, you've been outside all the time and have got caught 6 times, but you hadn't actually paid anything. What you're looking at is 3, 4. You're looking at about 6 grand that you would have owed in fines. £6,000. Now, if you don't pay that, guess where you're going? Now, bearing in mind you're a law-abiding citizen, you know they're not taking into consideration people that are under mental stress, mental strain, all manner of different things. If you haven't paid in them fines, you've been caught 6 times. You have to pay £3,200. If you don't pay it, they're going to send you to prison. They're going to send you to prison because you haven't paid all the fines: 100, 200, 400, 800, 1,600, and finally the 3,200. I am losing the will to live in this country in relation to the absolute debacle of what they're doing to us. They are pushing people into disobedience. Remember what I said to you. If you're caught going outside and you haven't got a good enough reason, it's your first offence, it's £100. Second offence, £200. Third offence, £400. Fourth offence, £800. Fifth offence, 1,600 quid. And if you're still caught on the 6th time, 3,200. And if you don't pay any of them, you will be sent to jail. I am absolutely vilified by that. Absolutely. Jason McCusbro's joined us. Hello, Jace. How are you? Good to have you on board. Also, in the news tonight, bit of a cough. Don't worry, it's not coronavirus. In the news tonight, also, obviously, we're gonna keep tabs on what he talks about. But to be honest, it's a load of bilge. To be honest, he's not going to do. Stay indoors, save lives, save the NHS. To now, we must stay alert, control the virus, and save lives. So we have to stay alert, control the virus, and save lives. No NHS, no staying at home. Stay alert, control the virus, stay at home. Save lives. Control the virus. We all carry millions of viruses. Millions of them. It's a very stay alert. What does that mean? Scotland and Wales have refused to follow this advice and isn't. It cannot just be men. It has to be women as well. We have our first caller. This is Susan Horwell, hopefully. Are you there, Susan?
Yes, I am.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
I'm not so bad. Yourself?
Yes, I'm not bad. We're all surviving, aren't we, at the moment?
Just about. Yeah.
And just to let everyone know out there, Susan Horwell is an immense character. Only come on the show once before. Was a bit nervous, but you're not now, are you?
No, not so.
No, and you live in a wonderful place called Cornwall.
I live in Cornwall, yeah.
Which I'm sure a lot of people have stayed away from. Which I don't think they probably have, to be honest.
Let's say no. I think the car parks are pretty full.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I don't know if you heard me talking about the fines that people can get now. It is absolute. It's £30 if you're caught going outside, and you're asked where you're going, and you haven't got a good enough excuse at the moment. That is about to change, because that is going up to £100.
Oh Christ.
So if you go outside your house and the police stop you and haven't got a good enough excuse, they'll issue you with £100 fine. If you go out the second time, they'll issue you with £200. If you go out the third time, they'll issue you with £400. If you're caught the fifth time, you will be issued with £1,600 fine.
Lord.
If you are caught 6 times, 3,200 quid. And if you don't pay any of them, you could go to prison.
Oh.
What sort of country are we living in, Susan?
I've got no idea, because I mean, I don't know. It's completely wrong. To be fair, wrong.
Yeah, but you are a rational thinking, sensible, level-headed, and I didn't even say what you do, but you do healing, you channel healing, you do bespoke treatments, and you wrote an amazing book called Stranger in My Own Skin, and which is about going through the menopause with no medication. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, look, you did all that, and obviously we just had VE Day, which, you know, we all take our hats off to what everyone did in the Second World War to be where we are. But where are we? Where the hell are we?
In limbo land.
Well, we're in a place that's got no captain, no people really that have any clue what they're doing. And, you know, the natives are getting restless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there'll be a revolution anytime. I can see it. Yeah, there'll be people won't stand for it anymore.
Doesn't it make your blood boil? I mean, a lot of people can you believe the people that just accept things as they are?
Yeah, they don't want to. And then you've got so much conflict in information, and there's people out there that are quite vulnerable. I've got somebody on my Facebook friends who put up a post last week, and it was a sort of friend of hers had actually had a breakdown through all this.
Yes.
Because because there's so much stuff, and he just doesn't know what to believe, and he's frightened, and he's obviously just now withdrawn into his shell, and obviously
hundreds of thousands of people across the country are in right now.
Yeah,
and we're lucky where we live. There's not too many people around us. I know that you got a flood down there at the moment. Liverpool.
Yeah.
The undercurrent of what sits there is toxic, because we live in a society, unfortunately, where a lot of and they do what they want to do. You get a lot of those people join up, become something very different.
Words fail me, really.
Words fail me. I'm just astounded. You know, in lots of ways, I'm sick to death of talking about coronavirus, because you know we've just got a complete clown in Parliament. Whoever's there, they've got an agenda. They're running with it, and you know, yes, there is a lot of information out there, and some of it good, some of it bad. I put lots of things on my wall to make people think, but you know, as I spoke about before, I talked about coronavirus. I mentioned on this show many times. What about the people that flooded in Yorkshire?
Yeah,
ages ago. Well, all of a sudden they reported on tonight on ITV News.
Nobody thinks about that.
Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about the 320,000 people that ain't got anywhere to live because they live on the streets, and they're not in isolation. But you know, one of the things looking at why we're in what we're in is not just it's a man-made concept, and in a way, I mean, I know people vilify me for it, but yes, it's a particularly bad strain of what you would call flu that's killed people, and we've had an enormous amount of people die in this country, and I'm not flippant when I say this at all, but on average, it's a normal sort of death rate. We have seasonal flu. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean it's hit us. I would not particularly badly in that respect, but we lost. I lost my mum-in-law last Monday.
Oh no, I'm really sorry to hear that.
And she, so now we're having to organise a funeral in a very, very different way. So we're probably going to have about 4 people there.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be live streamed, which is it's bittersweet, because at least some people that probably wouldn't be able to sort of see
would be able to see it. Yeah.
She's gone to the place. She's in a place where she's pain free, and whatever. So we're going to make that
for you to come.
And,
yes.
So I don't know if you know this, but I actually do personalised coffins.
Oh right, no, I didn't know that. Well, interesting.
I'm going to be doing her coffin, and we're going to make it a celebration. Ray and I are going to wear the same colour clothes as her coffin, and we're going to make it a joyful
experience. Do you know, this is what always amazes me about funerals, is they're not sad occasions. I know it's sad because the person's not here now with us, so that is sad. But in a way, in lots of cases, why don't you have the things or things that mean something to you? And well, you can understand the Egyptians, where they had all their stuff put in their temple with them when it was sealed.
Yeah, I mean, I know one lady rang me up a while back, and she said, "Oh, I'm trying to find someone that would do a glittery coffin. Could you do it?" And I said, "Well, I've not done one before, but we can go with it." And
wow.
Of course, the thing is, I don't need to see them. I don't need to be with them. I can do it so that people would tell me what they want, and then I'll just, with Ray's help, we sort of digitally put it together, and then just keep going backwards and forwards with the client until they have what they want, and then we, courier it to where they want it to go.
Wow. I think that's immense. I didn't realise you did that at all.
It's just I think initially I wanted to do it because it takes away some of the fear that's associated with death, and people don't want to talk about it, and it can be quite scary for someone if they've not been to a funeral. I was relating it to my first funeral that I went to, and because it was so dark and it was all the unknown, and you're quite, I was fearful. But, I think it's important to help everybody at that time and try to keep it, buoyant. I mean,
well, I think it is, and it's to hold the positivity and to hold the light of what they want, basically, as well. And it, in a lot of it, obviously, in what you do is the character of the people as well. So the people that remember that person, that we are only here for a short while. If we're lucky enough to live to 90 years old, it's a very tiny, short space of time. That's why we need to utilize the time that we have on this planet to do whatever we can to make change. I know it doesn't help with the situation we're in, but we still hold a positivity, because all those going through that at the moment are going through their own death and rebirth process. And within the crossing of people, when people pass, it's very sad because they're not here. But as you say, it does happen. We spoke about death on the program before a few weeks ago, and I know it's not an easy subject for a lot of people, but there's 2 things guaranteed: we're born, and unfortunately we die. And both occasions we have nothing with us.
No, and I mean, I did have her, obviously, because we couldn't be with Ray's mum
That must have been really difficult because you just got a phone call to say that unfortunately she's passed.
Well, we had a phone call to say that she was. It sort of built up to that. We knew she was at end of life before, and then we were going to go in and see her, and then we had a phone call to say that because she'd been into hospital because she'd fallen and stuff, and because of her breathing and stuff, there was a possibility that she could have the virus. So the whole sort of it just changed. But you know how things always work out for the best.
If you put faith and trust in the universe and the spirit that walks with you, then you find that happens.
I mean, the most amazing thing happened because I mean, I've been in this sort of line of work for over 25 years, and this what happened had not happened before. So anyway, so the care home rang, and whereas I would just sort of sit with my palms up and ask that she be surrounded with love and light. Something else happened because the day before I'd seen a lot of gold light coming down onto Joan, and I had an angelic being sort of hovering.
Yeah.
So I sort of knew. Anyway, I saw this angelic being come down and put their arms underneath Joan, like lifting a baby. And so, sort of, I just felt really peaceful. And then afterwards, we had the phone call to say that she passed away. And after a while, I got up and I had this amazing electric sort of shock. And I heard Joan, as clear as day, say to me, "Thank you, Sue."
Wow.
So it was nice to be part of her passing, which probably I wouldn't have been able to do in a relaxed way if I was actually in the home.
Yes.
So it was a lovely experience to be able to be part of that and to hear her so clearly not long after she passed.
And that proves that the realms of what we don't see that actually we do see through spirit is more real than the world we live on.
Definitely. And it was, I was, honoured to be part of that for her because she was a lovely person.
Yeah. And did she suffer very badly, or was it?
No, she didn't. So she had Alzheimer's, so she was very, very...
It's a horrible disease, that, and dementia and Alzheimer's.
Horrible. I think for a lot of us, I think there is a lot of change, isn't there? There is a lot of change. There's a lot of... I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but it's quite a lot of karmic stuff.
There is. Yeah, we're having to look at ourselves differently. And we're being brought into the now where, all right, we work in different levels, but spiritually we have got to be here and do what we're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, I think, yeah.
I do feel there's an enormous amount of people going through all sorts of weird ailments and all sorts of different things that's coming out of them. You know what I mean? I had a very bad sick and diarrhea bug thing that just came on a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday after I'd done a show, and I was ill, projectile vomiting, all sorts. Wasn't anything I'd eaten, but it was obviously something that needed to go.
A purge, wasn't it? It was a purge.
Yeah, a purge, if you like. That's a good way of putting it. And I do know, as I spoke about earlier on, which you probably find as well, there's days where you have dizzy spells.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have that? Do you find you get dizzy a lot?
Yeah, like disorientated in a way. You think, it's all sort of like, dizzy, can't quite focus properly.
Yeah, do you get that dizziness where you're feeling like, it's spinning around a little bit, I've got to sit down?
Yeah, yes, I have been. Last few weeks,
Yes, I've had that. And I know a lot of other people have that work in spirit as well.
Yeah, it's some odd...
That's almost like something interrupting a frequency and vibration that we connect to in a way. And I am, 5G and all these things that they're doing, and that, and certainly 5G ramps up a different vibration. I don't know if it's because they're switching on lots of things on our reality that are interfering with our energy, but it's also, I feel, about gathering what we're in at the moment, gathering back nature, which we are part of, obviously, as humans, and inside ourselves. And bear in mind, I say this to everyone, but we were so born to be here at this time to experience this, which means, you know, this is cataclysmic in a way. What's going? Look, this is something.
Yeah, definitely.
Not because of a virus, but because of an incompetent government.
Yeah. Maybe also it's us. Maybe our vibrations are just changing, and our vibrations are, and that's why we're feeling slightly giddy and out of sync. Maybe it's all just combined with whatever else it is we're trying to.
I feel it's a combination, isn't it? Because it is almost like the massive clash of light and dark on the planet, where I feel light has won this battle, basically. And I do feel, even in this situation, I mean, there is a lot of things going on that are good as well. But you know, with inside ourselves, as I said before, we have to as spiritual beings as we are, we have to go deeper with inside ourselves and bring more of ourselves back out, which is about clearance of what we've had before that needs to go where we thought it wasn't, where we thought it had gone. And you know, it's also about those that are not going to be part of the next journey. I'm sorry to say.
No, also, I think there's a lot of talk on some things about, you know, like being in this sort of like 3D world, and now sort of like, you know, our vibrations are changing.
Yeah.
If we've been, you know, if you're, what's the word I'm looking for? You know,
well, you're going into 5D, 7D, whatever.
Yeah, I think it also. So I think there's a lot. I mean, for me, I think there's a lot. I say a lot of karma. I think the karma for me is it's to do with the people that are in my life. Some of that is family members, I think.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's
and it is strange, because I do feel you're right. There is a lot of people at this time that, you know, where there is divides or where there is detachments, there's a trying to make bridge or bring together, or try to bring together, where things were maybe not there, or just to bring together in a different way. Do you know what I mean? They talk about we just had VE Day when obviously in the 40s we had a real community-based, very conscious spirit with the nation, but that doesn't sit there anymore, does it?
No, and I think when I don't know if I said this before, but I think when we started this, when we started in the lockdown and everything, everybody was very, you know, very thinking they were going to be very community spirit, and I think it didn't take long for some of those to sort of slip by the wayside, and it was back to all about them again. So
the thing is, some people have said to me, and it's very true, that, you know, lots of people think they have to do something. And sometimes it's not about doing something. And it's very important we do, obviously, help neighbours, go and deliver food, do all manner of different things. And bear in mind all the amazing things, the NHS and the lorry drivers and the road sweepers, all of the logistics of all the people out there key working. But sometimes it is about, this is what I tell people all the time, sometimes for us to move forward and have an understanding and recognition of what we are with inside ourselves, we have to stop. And when we stop, we have to look at ourselves. The problem with a lot of society that we have is that they have passed by themselves to go out and buy something.
Oh, definitely. They're filling their life with things rather than looking at themselves.
Yes. And that again comes back to a root problem of how we're taught, how we're brought up. In relation to family, parents, schooling, all manner of different things. It all needs to change from grassroots, basically. Debbie, I'd like to say, Debbie Johnson says of what you said, lovely story, passing and release. I was with my beautiful mum who passed on October. She let go when I told her to hold the angel's hand. She could only hear me, not see me. That's lovely, Debbie. Thank you for sharing that. I've got goose pimples, as I did when you were talking of your incident with the mother. Yes. And you know, it is not. I mean, I think we look at death with sadness here, but they are on a different level. And you know, with ourselves, there's many. I mean, I look at the sky at night and I look at the stars and I think, where's my spaceship? Get me off this planet. Do you know what I mean? You know, don't we want to all go home? You know what I mean? But
tiring, isn't it?
Oh, it's fatiguing and draining and tiring, and that is just the energy which exists on this planet at this moment in time. And you know, it doesn't help because we're all on a big boat called Earth. Well, certainly the UK, and we're actually on a living Titanic.
Yeah, we are. It's like it feels like that, and I think that we've got to there's life jackets.
I mean, if you look at your story in relation to, I mean, obviously, I think what you're doing there is absolutely fantastic, immense in relation to. I didn't even realize you did that, and please put the details of that on the comments or whatever, so people can get a hold of you or speak to you. Do you know what I mean? But you know we spoke about it before, but I always go back to it because it's a fascinating thing. And again, it's about will, and it's about battling and overcoming, because we have two things. We have the inner soul being inside you, the engine, and we have the body, the physical body, which is going through this change. And I have massive sympathy for femininity. I'm a man woman, if you like. I'm a man, but I have a lot of women have to go through so much. They have periods, they have periods, they have to go through childbirth, and then they have something horrendous called the menopause.
Yeah, it can be very horrendous. And of course, like I said before, the doctors will they will just issue out antidepressants, and they never check out on people. I mean, I know
that is really important.
You know, people because you're in such a fearful space, otherwise you wouldn't be sort of even going to the surgery, and then they give you the antidepressants. How are you going to get off of them? Because you're going to be worried that if you come off of them, you're going to be back to that fearful space. So it's better to sort of deal with it if you can. Drugs have their purpose, but
well, I always say, in a human form that we are, I mean, there is something on this planet. Out of my cousin's mouth, I say this. There is something on this planet to heal all of us, but I do feel that because of the corruption that's gone on the food chain and the air we breathe and what we drink and everything else, and the frequency and vibration changes that we've had to go through in relation to being on this planet, our bodies needs an extra boost of something. So, you know, I do believe that the body sometimes needs a treatment of some sort that's in a physical form.
But I mean, if I had a headache, I work hard on that to try to get it away without having to take anything. But if I have to resort to paracetamol, if I actually have to, then I will. But it will not be very, it won't be very often. I will do everything I can. I will use pressure points on my hand. I will drink lots and lots of water, or relax, try to, meditate, do anything I can. But if it is so excruciating, and when I was going through the menopause, I had really bad migraines. You're in a space where you think, I just can't even sit and sort of breathe sometimes. You can do your very best. You can't beat yourself up just to say, well, and
it's hot sweats and all manner of different things. Your clothes on, clothes off, all manner of different stuff, isn't it?
Well, for me, it was more emotional sort of stuff, really. It was like your mind is going around and you're just in a very fearful space. So it took a lot of strength, really, to do that without resigning to, HRT is just equal amounts of, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. For me, I think I said before, I'd only need like progesterone one day, maybe not anything the next, but I used to douse for mine. So I used to, douse and ask what it was I needed for that day. And so the book that I did initially do, I decided a few weeks ago that I was going to rewrite it, and it's going to be a second edition.
Well, I think that's a brilliant idea. This is A Stranger in Your Skin.
Oh yeah, A Stranger in My Own Skin.
Sorry,
I'm going to do, and it's going to be a much more spiritual and holistic book.
Yeah, because I suppose when you wrote that to now, when you read some of that now, you think, I need to change that. It needs to be this.
It does. It needs to be, because I think it was very raw then, but there was a lot of I sort of touched on a few spiritual things that sort of happened to me, but not all. And so I think it was time now to actually, bear all, so to speak.
Yeah. And I do feel menopause, like a lot of things we go through. I mean, obviously they're all very different for different people. We got all sorts of different things, but in a way, it's our soul being trying to mediate with our body to calm it.
And and you're entering into another rite of passage into an elder, really.
Yeah.
Which is wise, which is wisdom.
Yeah.
So it is, but it's just coping with that. And there's lots of women out there not coping with it.
Well, and it can go on for a long time, can't it, as well? It's not, it's like this. There's no end to it sometimes inside.
No, it's just one of those things. You've got to just breathe and take each hour as it comes, because anything sort of, can change. So,
but the coping mechanism you found was absolutely astronomical in relation to not taking any medication and going through a self-healing with it, really, with yourself.
Yeah, it was a self-healing. It was, and it was, I was determined that I wasn't going on HRT, and I definitely wasn't on antidepressants. So I said, I'm not depressed. I'm just not depressed. And there's so many things out there that, they test your blood to see if your hormone level is imbalanced. And it's a bit like if you have a thyroid test. If you don't have the test at the right time, it can come back inconclusive. I mean, it's a bit like these tests they're having for the COVID-19. What I learned just before Ray's mum passed was, I'd learned that there was a neighbour that had symptoms of the COVID-19, and she had a test, and it came back negative, but she had a CT scan, and it was in her lungs.
Yeah.
And apparently once it gets done into your lungs, then a little swab in the back of the throat can't detect it.
Right.
So that makes me a little bit wary about the testing, really.
I must admit, my own personal opinion, and I know there's a lot of other people out there feel exactly the same. I wouldn't want to be tested. I don't want a vaccine. I don't want anything coming anywhere near me from any of these people, because I know, only from the fact that when this came out, that I thought it's a load of bollocks. Excuse my French. It's not real. And, you're not coming anywhere near me with any of that stuff, I can tell you.
They are not coming near me with a vaccine. They can think on.
And we've had 24 hours, where in Somerset there has been no new deaths either.
Yeah,
it is coming right down.
Well, all we can all do is try to remain grounded, be positive, and hold the light, really, isn't it?
And I know it is difficult because it's frustrating, and it is about even seeing the person you're with all the time. It is about, I'm not talking about you, but with people, it is about mediating, finding, because people are really getting to know themselves again. Do you know what I mean? Even in partnerships, even in families. Do you know what I mean? Because before, they're putting the kids in the car, they're taking them to school, whatever. Then they go home, they go off to work or whatever, and then they all meet up in the evening. Well, it's not like that now.
No, it's definitely made, even members of my family, think about what they want to do from here on in.
Yeah.
Definitely. Anything that maybe they've not sort of recognised has sort of come to the surface. So, it's had its positives as well.
Yeah. Had a message from, or a comment from Jan Cardy. Thanks, Jan. In regards to the testing and the vaccine, she says, "Me too. They are not coming near me either. They will have to hunt me down."
I know. No one's coming near me with any vaccine. They can think again.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've seen the results of what happened with bird flu and all sorts, and they had to pay 60 million back to many, 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 many hundreds of people that died unnecessarily. And you're gonna put COVID-19 in your body to actually heal it? No, go away. Because it's all the nanotechnology and whatever other rubbish they put in it as well.
Exactly. No, they're not doing any of that to me. That's for sure. I'm not. No. No,
I think there'd be uproar if they try and make that mandatory anyway. So,
I think, and also I do think gradually there are things like misdemeanors unraveling, don't you? That you can see little.
Yeah, the cracks.
Definitely. We can just. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but do you think that we're going to have something that's going to unravel that is literally going to make people really sit up and think?
I think we will, and I mean, one of the reasons to do this show is to bring out a truth, if you like. And if I see something that's not right, I'm going to tell people about it. And I do feel that there's so much that's wrong with the people that are supposedly in charge in relation to still no PPE and testing. I mean, these people just throw figures at you, and sometimes you think, well, is that even true? Do you know what I mean?
You don't know what to believe, do
you? Because when you lose, it's like it's. I suppose it's a bit like with this government. You're supposed to have a relationship with people that are in power that we're supposed to respect and honor, and I can understand all that. But when they tell blatant lies, and since I was a little tiny person, I didn't be lied to, and I started investigating things that are very different. And then you start seeing what these people really do. Then you start thinking they're all a shambles. They're not in charge of anything because they don't know what's going on. It's a shadow government behind them that know what's going on.
Oh, it is. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, half an hour goes so quick, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Thank you for having me on.
No, you're a breath of fresh air, you are, Susan. You're a lovely person. You're down in my most favourite part of the world, Cornwall. I do hope that you haven't got hordes of people down there this weekend, because obviously it's bank holiday weekend. And I'm very sorry to hear your loss as well. And your book sounds absolutely fascinating. Now, if anyone, I mean, obviously you're doing a revamped version, a second edition, aren't you?
I am going to do a second edition. Yes, I am. I don't know when I'll get round to it, but there is another edition. There's an edition already out. Yeah.
So if people want to get their hands on a copy of Stranger in My Skin,
I actually have got some copies here that I could send out to people.
Okay.
If you want to just give me a message on, so it's at the Healing Table UK.
Okay. And if people want to look you up on Facebook, it's Susan Hallwell, isn't it?
Susan Hallwell. If anybody wants to look at the coffins, it's at Personalised Coffins on Facebook.
I think that is so amazing. I really do. I've never heard anything like that. Personalised. I think that's so amazing. I want one. There's people that have coffins in their house.
Oh, well, I've got one. I mean, this is going to just make you all giggle probably, but we've got Jones already. It's already here. It's in the shed. It's waiting for the paint to arrive.
Wow.
And then it will come indoors with me. It will come indoors, and I'll paint it indoors. on a cloth. It will be just like as if we're doing it around the kitchen table. So
Wow.
it will be. And then I decided also that because she's obviously, she's flying high now and she's at a place new. They said, "Oh, what do you want to dress her in?" And I thought, I don't want to dress her in all that stuff she had before in the care home that all gets lost in the laundry and everything. So I've ordered a beautiful piece of fabric that's almost like a sort of a shroud. I'm going to wrap her up in that anyway.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Debbie Johnson says you've been a brilliant guest and lovely energy.
Thank you.
Blu-ray Soul has joined us and says hello to everyone. Debbie Johnson says she wants I'm sure I'm not going to say this right. A dynamite, a bling one, basically, with unicorns on it. That's what she says.
Yeah, people can have exactly what they want. I mean, like I said, I did that glittery one for a lady. She wanted this gold glittery one, and it sparkled as you turned it. It was
wow. Oh, that is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And this can be obviously for burial or in
because I use all eco-friendly paint.
I
mean, I do have to sort of check with the crematorium, like with glitter one. I was in Bristol, I think. I had to check with the creme to make sure that for a little bit of glitter, and it was. So, but I do use eco-friendly water-based paint, and the intricate detail is printed on very thin piece of paper. What I'll do is at some stage, when we've done, Joan, I'll bring you over the picture.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. If anyone wants to know anything about this more, then please go and connect to Susan Horwell on Facebook. Or what website did you say website?
I think it will. No, it's just on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
Personalised coffins. It is.
Okay. I'm astounded. That is brilliant.
Well, I just wanted to take the fear out of death, really.
Absolutely, because death is just another journey.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of somewhere else.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you've been amazing, Susan. We've gone a bit, but what the hell, it doesn't matter. And you're a lovely person, and it's fantastic to connect to you again. And I can't wait until I get you back on. I'll get you back on again in a month or so. We'll catch up and see how things are going. I'm very sorry for your loss and everything. But what an interesting conversation. What an interesting lady. And thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye. There, Susan Horwell. What a lovely lady. She came on the show some weeks ago now, and for the first time. And she told us about that book, The Stranger in My Skin, where she battled against menopause, basically with no medication. And she just came out with that tonight, that she does sacred decoration of coffins. I just think that's astounding. What a lovely lady. And I'm glad you all enjoyed her as well. We have got coming up next, and she has tried to contact us, so we're going to bring her back. We have got our next guest ready and prepared. Fast-paced show tonight. Hopefully she'll answer. We have got Karen Jane Price. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right, my friend. Yes. I'm very well. Very well. I know you're not a million miles away from where I am, but how are you doing? This is Karen. For anyone out there don't know who I'm talking to, because we could be talking to anyone, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
This is Karen Jane Price, international medium, clairvoyant, and it's fantastic to have you on, and back as well. We always love you coming on the show. And how are you doing in this? I know you've been very, very busy in doing reading. I was watching you earlier on, actually, just before I come on here.
I know. I hate doing lives, actually.
You do?
Yeah, because it's like I'm talking to a message, and it's not like the way I work, but I'm getting stronger as the weeks go on.
When you thought about doing that, obviously, because you've obviously thought, because we're all normally at shows, aren't we, and things like that.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you have private readings as well, which are not on much at the moment, unless you're doing them on Skype or Zoom or something, or phone. In relation, you sat there and thought, well, I'm going to go out there and do this. Is that what you?
I
Yeah.
put my big girl pants on,
Yeah.
and I thought, you know what? If others can do it, then I can do it. So I thought I'd give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I did do a streaming with a platform that it's the first time I used them, and while I was doing the live, there was a scammer on, and he messaged people privately.
All right.
Saying cloning me, basically, which was lovely.
Yeah, I've seen that happen to a few other people as well.
Yeah. I think Mr. G has had that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I mean, obviously, when you go out there and you do it for the first time, it's a bit like I do readings on international readings on psychic lines. There's nobody sitting there. You just got a voice, really.
Yeah.
It's even harder when you've just got a comment, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's connecting the energy. I know it sounds mad, but to the comment.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're picking up the energy of that person, what they're writing, and obviously the energy surrounding whoever it is that they or what they need to know. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But I'm getting the hang of it, and yeah, I'm just doing them every Sunday for an hour. And I'm kind of enjoying it, actually. I brought the crystal ball out tonight. So
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And generally, obviously, I mean, this is a very weird situation we sit in. I don't want to dwell too much on coronavirus, but I mean, you know yourself, as I do, as a lot of people out there that work in spirituality, there is an enormous amount of people trying to get switched on here, I feel, at the moment.
People are awakening, definitely.
Yes.
And the more that, you know, it's amazing, even through the readings, people are asking me questions. And yeah, there's a lot, it's very fear-based, all what's going on at the
fear
moment.
Porn.
And
that's all it is. All the television is fear porn. It's to keep you in fear. I don't know if you heard earlier on in relation, I was absolutely disgusted. And I don't mind telling you how disgusted. I'm not even going to use the words that I used when I actually read it, because I just could not believe what I was reading. I mean, if you go...
WTF?
If you go outside and you're caught by the police and you have no real excuse, which almost sounds we're wandering into Nazi Germany territory or Fourth Reich territory, because if they stop you or whatever and you haven't got a good enough excuse for where you're going or what you're doing, then they fine you £30. But now that's going to be £100. And this has a 6-phase approach, because if you go out there and you constantly are being stopped, the next time's £200, then it's £400, then it's £800, and the 5th time it's £1,600. And if you're out there on the 6th occasion and caught by the police for asking what you're doing, even though we have freedom to walk anywhere, really, but because it's not a law, this is a bill. You know, on the 6th occasion, they are going to fine you £3,200.
Crazy. It's just control. It's interesting, actually, because I've been like, yeah, I go out for my walks. Some days I haven't gone out for a walk, so then I think I'll go in the car for a little drive.
Yeah, why not? Well, you need to keep the car moving as well, don't you?
Exactly, keep the motor. Anyway, I thought, right, I took the car out on the levels, and I got out, and I was just in my own space looking at the river, and there were swans and there was lambs, and all of a sudden this bloody great helicopter came above me.
Really?
Yeah. And it followed me all the way through the lanes back to basically to my home.
Well, that was a police helicopter, I take it, was it?
Yeah.
A police helicopter followed your car?
Yeah, followed my little red car all the way back
Absolute madness.
home. Yeah, it was like a 10-mile radius and I was followed back. And all I did was get out of my car, look over a bridge, just feel nature, feel the fresh air in your lungs. And it's that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Sorry to swear, but
No, it's all right. I've heard worse on it. Don't worry.
It's about us having our freedom ripped from us.
Yes.
And we need nature.
We
need
do
to survive, and we need nature to survive.
We're not used to being cooped up. Now, I mean, in a way, many of us have been. You know, I know many people, including myself, that are pretty much in most of the time. We're not out raving or doing anything like that. You go out occasionally, all sorts, but you're not out there all the time, and you're doing your work and everything. But you know, it is abnormal for people to first of all, I can understand people complying because obviously, you know, this horrendous whatever they said it is, which in my mind, only my opinion, I feel is a load of rubbish, that is there to control, basically, to control the mass for another reason altogether different than what we are actually being told.
Yeah, and definitely, no, I'm not doing track and trace. I'm not going to do the injection.
No.
None of it.
I'm not doing any of it. They can stick it up their arse, basically.
Exactly, and I'm the same. And I'm living and breathing my life as I would be normally. Yes, I'm cautious. I do the distance, but you know, I've been going off to the shop, so I had a little trip out to Glastonbury the other day.
All right. Yeah, well, that's that.
Yeah,
it's probably quite nice because there ain't no one there.
Yeah, I drove through the town and I went to Morrison's, did my shop.
Yeah.
And it was not one person was walking around there with a mask on.
No. You do see them at the supermarket. They all running around with masks and gloves. And it always amazes me. It always amazes me when they're walking around with gloves and mask on, because they're covering their mouth and they're covering their hands, and they stand there in the shortest shorts and the shortest top you can imagine.
Yeah. Let me tell you, not many people know this, but my
that's a famous saying, that Michael Caine. Not a lot of people know that.
My daughter, she caught a superbug when she was 7 years old, and as a lot of people know, she's got cystic fibrosis kind of condition that is going on with her. She's got chronic lung disease. When she was 7 years old, she caught pneumonia with a superbug called PVL. Now, the PVL is actually, when you look it up, it is an airborne bug that you can pick up from a park bench, you can pick it up from a gym.
Anywhere, yes.
Anywhere. And she was a healthy, fit girl. And that particular weekend, she went to her dad. She came back, and she had a raging temperature. The Monday morning, I checked the temperature again. It was sky high. Rushed her to the doctors. The next thing, she stopped breathing. They had to resuscitate her, and it was a kind of virus. Okay. Now, viruses, I can go into a lot of detail about viruses.
I bet you can, yeah.
And I'm not going
the thing, sorry, that's my other phone going off. There is also a case where this is really the annoying part of it, particularly with what to this virus and everything, which is the fact that it's not just about the fines. It's the fact that they're now saying that we've got to stay alert. What does that mean?
Stay alert. I mean, what do I do? Get my magnifying, my crystal ball? Do you know what I mean? Bugs are around us. We live, we have bugs around us, and I think the extent of the media and the extent of basically brainwash.
Yes.
First weeks of it coming out and the government brought it out, I was terrified. absolutely terrified. More terrified because my daughter, she's at high risk.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the day, the panic took over, and I thought, this is ridiculous. You know, it was making me feel physically ill.
Yeah.
So I took reflection, as you do, and I thought, come on, Karen, pull yourself together. This is ridiculous. And I did channel lots of and politics. Yeah.
And we've got a whole load of people in that's running this ship that have no idea what they're doing at all.
Exactly. And
because it's all a farce.
Yeah. And somebody that has you know, not saying, how do I put this? Miss B, how he got over CV very quickly.
Well, yeah, there's lots of question marks about that. And I mean, I'll say what you aren't saying. I've said it before on this show, is the fact that, you know, this person, I feel, is somebody that wants to be popular. He don't want to be unpopular. He don't want to do unpopular things. No. I feel that, yes, he had some sort of cough and cold and all sorts of that. He went into intensive care and he was in there 3 days and he was out. And he came out and he went to wherever Checkers or wherever he goes with Carrie, yeah. Who is supposedly pregnant, which doesn't look pregnant. I mean, there's so many question marks around these people. It's unbelievable. And you know, and when he was in hospital, 2 doctors were dismissed because he wouldn't sign his Official Secrets Act. And he was in there for 2 weeks, hidden away. And then, you know, he comes out and has and they have their baby, which is illusionary, because he said at the end of February that actually I'm gonna marry this person. She's my fiance. We're getting engaged, and she's having a baby in the summer. And that was the 28th of April. She had that child, which is something drastically wrong with that. And then you've got poor old Kate Garraway's husband, who is still in intensive care. Now, people can say, well, people deal with it in different ways, but I'm sorry, personally, I don't believe he had it at all.
Yeah, it just see. I know somebody through somebody who did have it. This was right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they were incubated. They went into intensive care. They did have you know, they were put in a coma. But this person is still trying to get over, and we're like months, well, weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, this person has not got all their energy back yet.
Yeah.
It knocks the shit out of me.
Yeah, it does. And Boris was 3 days in intensive care, goes Checkers, and 2 weeks later he's fine.
Exactly.
It's just not real.
Exactly. So something doesn't weigh up here.
No, not at all.
I know. I also know somebody else who's been in hospital, quite local hospital. I want to say Western. And you know, they're okay. This is an elderly person, but they're doing okay. They're in kind of home, and they're getting all the support they need. But you know, he was an older gentleman, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
So I think it affects people in different ways.
Yeah, it does. I can understand that, but I feel that this was a chance for Boris to get out of the way for a little while.
Absolutely, but he hasn't been showing his face a lot, has he?
No, he hasn't. I mean, I've even suggested he might not even be him.
His minions are doing all the work behind the scenes, I think. But
well, he's an intelligent bloke to a degree, but you know, this is something that, you know, I mean, you don't want someone like that in this position right now, because he's absolutely useless. And so is the crowd round him, you know, and they come out with some preposterous rubbish. You know, they never hit 100,000 tests in April. Now they're going to hit 200,000 tests in May. And you know, what they should be doing is test everyone. There should be testing stations in every town.
But what gets me is the actual people that are the doctors that are actually coming forward and trying to speak, and they're taken down. Certain platforms are taking them down, and you think, hang on a minute, I can mention quite a few, but at the end of the day, they're speaking from the front line, and they're being stopped from speaking.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not just in this country, because I didn't read this out earlier on, but in Russia, there's 3 Russian doctors who clashed with officials about the pandemic and have been found. They all fell out of windows, in mysterious circumstance, and died. Well, they were just taken out, weren't they? Obviously.
Wow.
But you know as well as I do, and I know out there, people looking at the internet, looking at Facebook, thinking, well, what's real, not real? I mean, I try to put stuff on there to make people think. And obviously, we've all seen, I know you have, and I know you shared things with me, and I shared things with you, where we've had the doctors, where we've had the nurses, all on there that are saying that this is not, we're empty. There's nobody here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this isn't the suffrage of the cardiovascular patients, the cancer patients, the patients needing hip replacement, all manner of different things, all manner of different areas, and the stress it's going to cause in mental, not paper damage, not money damage, in mental damage on people is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, and the other thing I've read somewhere, that the doctors get paid more.
Yeah.
If they sign a death off as COVID.
Yeah.
And I find this absolutely...
It's abhorrent. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Shocked by it.
Yeah. But that's why pretty much most of the deaths, anyone that's died, it's all down to COVID-19.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it isn't. Look, you know about viruses. You know far more than I do.
Flu, and my God, flu knocks you to the ground.
It does.
And I had flu, probably about 10 years ago. I couldn't function for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It knocked me to my knees. I had no energy, and I was just,
But what you said is very true. You said earlier on that it's on park benches. It's on your furniture. It's where you go. It's on your car. It's everywhere. Your hands got germs all over them. Your body's got germs all over them. And our mouths are full of thousands of viruses. So, I mean, I wish I could find what... Sorry?
Your nostrils.
In your nostril, yes. My God, there's a lot of rubbish in there, isn't there?
Yeah. And you look at the bugs that go around the hospitals, there's...
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But there's massive amounts of bugs. We have in our gut, God, we've got hundreds and thousands. It's our natural part within our body to fight infection, to fight disease. And you have to let nature...
Yes.
To fight it.
Boxes. Who's out there policing deer? Who's out there policing sheep? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. But we are all...
I totally agree.
People, as a clairvoyant medium, I see the bigger picture. I see, and as you do, Clint, you do. You our defeat the fakeness. There's so much to actually see.
Yeah, I mean, this is the new side, save the NHS. Now it's stay alert, control the virus, save lives. Look, I'm very sorry, but I know what they mean by that is stay indoors and then it won't spread anywhere. But we're not in an A state. Do you know what I mean? When I was little baby, I ate sand and coal. I know you're not meant to eat sand and coal, but you did. Do you know what I mean? And are we going into such a nanny state that don't go outside because you get hit by a bus? Don't go outside. A tree might fall on you. Do you know what I mean? Control the virus. How can you control the virus? We all got it.
And the thing that what I feel very strongly about is all the people that have been held back that need treatment in our NHS.
Yes.
whether it's cardiovascular,
Yeah.
whether it's kidney, liver, dialysis,
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's kind of COVID needs to come before everything. And
Yeah.
to me, that is so wrong.
And the hospitals rent it. And I know people won't like this. And I put stuff on there and I know it upsets people. But, you know, I do get very fed up. And people say, well, they're just chilling out, enjoying themselves. These are synchronized dancers of nurses and doctors in hospitals spend time sorting out a dance group. Do you know what I mean? It's not spur of the moment. I know people don't like that, but that's true. Do you know what I mean?
It is true. And I think there was recently, I think it was in America, there was this nurse that was absolutely beside herself because of the other nurses that were in there were not treating the patients with the right, correct treatment.
Yeah.
And you know, they kept moving her to different departments because she wanted to speak out. Yeah.
The worst I've seen is where they were dancing, carrying a body in a bag with COVID-19 written on the sole of its foot.
Wow, I haven't seen that.
That is on my wall somewhere. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I really do. And you know, I know that they need to rest. I know that they do a fantastic job. But, you know, this is why many nurses not even in hospital, because there's nothing for them to do. I'm just going to read a few comments here that's come in. Matthew John, who's joined us. Hello, Matthew. And he says, fine you £3,000 of what? Well, if you haven't read that, Matthew, well, you know anyway, that they're going to fine you, if you're caught 6 times outside and you ain't got a good enough excuse, they're going to fine you £3,200 for being outside. Then he says, we live in a system of bankruptcy. There is no money or freedoms have slowly been taken away. Frog in slow boiling pan springs to mind. Tracy Parsons says, hi all. And Jan Cardi says, I know someone who works in a hospital as a healthcare assistant. She said it's been so quiet. Also, a friend is a nurse in another hospital, and she said they are overstaffed. Gemma Jane Brooks says, great shows always. Thank you, Gemma. And Matthew says, for the virus, for me, the virus is of the mind. It's agenda bullshit, basically. Total corporate takeover of the world. Jason McCusborough says, for every death, there is an autopsy. However, with this virus, no wonder the docs get paid more, as no autopsy is undertaken, so money is saved. And Matthew says they could falsify any death and class it as COVID. People will start to disappear. I'm sorry, but that's not Nazi Germany. I'm sorry, but the way we are being treated, and I agree with him, because the way we are being treated is they're being nice. They're trying to be nice to the populace, to hold them in a space because they think, well, we'll believe everything we say. Unfortunately, they haven't got many of them, because they're like people like us, and they're saying, you know what, you're a controlling fascist dictatorship that is dictating to us what we can do and can't do. Do you know what I mean? And everyone talks about the second wave or the third wave or whatever. I'll go back to nature. Where is the police in nature? Where is the foxes that have got diseases mixing with other foxes? How many of them? We haven't got a rampant death of foxes. We haven't got a rampant death of chickens. Do you know what I mean? Hello.
I'm still here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had a bit of rant there. Sorry about that. It just gets on my tits. It really does.
We're not puppets. And the more that people wake up to their, you know, start doing your research, start seeing stuff, start reading or hearing the sort of stuff the doctors are trying to put out. And it's, and all these, I won't even go into it.
I know. And Debbie Johnson says, what about the mental health patient suicide?
Exactly.
Well, we've lost today, up until so far this year, we've lost something like 323,000 people.
The confinement is, you know, it's affecting them massively.
Yeah, because they're so they've been so plugged into a system saying they can't go outside. When they go outside, they're panicking.
Exactly. And it's panic driven.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All panic driven. And
Matthew John says, to have an opposite view in these times is a mainly lonely path. I will walk it, and I'm sure many of you have been lonely on this path too. It's not that lonely, Matthew. It's getting crowded, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? We're all in that place, and there is too many people like us that are saying, no, this is not right.
It's the light workers that are going to wake so many people up, because we're seeing the bigger picture. We're seeing the bigger. It's just control.
It is. It is. And a lot of people say, no, they'd never do that to us. I don't believe it. These people are nasty, vindictive. They don't care about any of us. They're multimillionaires that sit around a cabinet table, got their hands in all sorts of dirty, horrible pies, and they're mixed up in dirty, horrible, very dark things in the background as well, which is all coming out as well about children. That
it's
as well.
It's all going to come out, and there's. You know, there's so much that's going to come to space.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know where half an hour goes.
It's been awesome talking to you.
No, it's been awesome talking to you as well. You're always welcome on I know we talked about a lot of different things, but that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
And it's good to get your views and everything across. And you know, it's open for everyone, all views. It doesn't necessarily mean that the views that I agree with you do. I want all people to come across as they want to. You've been amazing. If people want to get hold of you, Karen, obviously they can get hold of you on Facebook.
Yeah. And my website is www.karenprice.co.uk.
Brilliant. You've been fantastic, Karen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I love being on your show.
Thank you.
It'd be so great to catch up some point.
Yes. Well, yeah, because we ain't got any stalls, have we, going at the moment? So
no, it's pretty rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know what Boris is saying tonight. It'd be interesting to see what he's.
Oh, I don't think it's that interesting, to be honest, because I feel we're going to be in the same. They're going to open up the great places like McDonald's and KFC and Burger King and garden centres, and they're talking about primary school children going back at the end of May, and the rest of us got to stay indoors. Oh, and you can go out and sunbathe now, apparently.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. When they said, you know, you're not allowed to go out and you know, all the.
I think you are allowed out a little bit more, but you know. It's also the problem with them. It's also lucid, isn't it? That's the trouble.
Yeah, masks or no masks?
I have no idea. I didn't delve into that. But I'm never going to wear one, so I don't. I'm not wearing one.
It's fantastic to talk to you.
Yeah, and you.
Care.
And keep up the good work and that, and what you're doing on Facebook and everything, and we will catch up soon, hopefully.
Yeah, lots of love.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
That's Karen Jane Price. Always a pleasure to have her on the show. We run over a little bit again. Well, never mind. Doesn't matter. We have got our next guest coming up. This is fast-paced tonight, gang. I tell you, fast-paced tonight. We have got somebody who's on our show quite often, to be every month, in actual fact. Her name is Teresa Sell from Inuit Soul. She comes to us. She's an astrologer. She does healing. She does readings. She does many, many different things. Multi-talented, multi-diverse person. Do you know what I mean? And she should be on the phone now. How are you there? Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Clint.
How are you? What a build-up.
Sorry?
What a build-up for you. How are you?
Yes, I'm okay, thank you. You're not too bad.
Good, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're still in this situation. It's good to get people's views and stuff like that. And obviously, I suppose in astrology, is it difficult in astrology? Because I said earlier on that obviously, well, what's going to happen next month? We're all going to stay indoors. But actually, it's not just about that, is it? It's about what happens to us inside us and the alignments of what goes on around us. And we just had, I'm sure you're going to talk about, a massive flowery moon.
Yeah, and it was a big, powerful one. Scorpio
Oh.
moons are always really powerful.
Yeah.
But lots of people have been posting sun halos, and that's really nice to see. You don't get very often over here.
Wow.
So that's really nice to see.
And like the powerful moon and what's going on at the moment in relation to the energies and everything, because it's all foretold in the stars, obviously. But would that, in relation to us, would that affect us in a physical form in relation to dizziness, nausea, and feeling odd?
I mean, we are kind of coming into the age of Aquarius, so we are going through an ascension. We're going through being on this 3D planet, on this Earth, to kind of rising our vibrations. But of course, vibrations are being kept down by what's going on around us and the media. You know, they want us to keep our vibrations low. So it's in between. But yeah, lots of people report of dizziness and headaches, or feeling right. But yeah, it's all to do with ascension and, you know, the change that is coming. So yeah, it's been going on for a few years really, on and off for people, but you particularly feel it more at, you know, full moons, certain aspects, equinoxes, solstices. You always feel that energy a bit stronger because the veils are thinner.
Yeah, and I do feel that we, as much as this sounds mad, but I feel we push through this, even though we're in it at the moment. I do feel that light has won something here with inside ourselves.
It is, you know, it's trickling through, and we've got to try to remember that, haven't we, and not dip into the fear and the darkness side of things. But yeah, it's here, but it's here a very emotional, difficult year to get through. But once we do, things are really going to lighten up.
They're going to rock it.
Yeah, but you know, we have got quite a few big hurdles to get through this year, and astrology points to that as well. So we've got to be aware of that. And you know, things might calm down a little bit over the next 5 months or so. But October is a month to look out for. It's
really
kind of fireworks. It's, you know, I don't know if it's going to be a second wave of the virus, if it's going to be something different, but there's so much going on that we've just got to be aware that October might be a interesting time, because we've got.
So as we come out of this, we might go back in it.
It's just to be mindful. I mean, it might not even be the coronavirus. It might be something else. You know, that might.
It might be. It might be where aliens actually land on the planet and we see them.
You never know. You know, I mean, some people have said about solar flares. You know, might be heading in the next 2 years. So, so it's just October's just it's just sticking out as a really important month. But it's going to be very tricky, and power struggles will be going on. You've got Mars in retrograde in its own sign. You've got the Sun Jupiter square, which we actually had in April, but it's back in October. It's just it's
a mirror image of April, in other words.
Well, in some ways, but it's a lot more fiery, a lot stronger, because you've got Mars and Pluto squaring off, and you've got Mercury, Uranus opposite each other. So you know, it's like lots of destructive kind of you know behavior going on, and ego conflicts, and you know, surprising news. So it might not be, you know, anything destructive. It might just be coming, you know, from somebody saying something that kind of makes people kind of look at things in a different way. And obviously in December got the massive conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which only happens every 20 years.
Wow.
And looking back through history, I mean, this was just before 9/11, this happened. It foreshadowed the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
You know, the Afghan war. It all foreshadowed like things like that. So you know, it's all leading to that, isn't it? The way that I feel that, you know, some trying to push a new world order, but yeah, people are going to rebel against that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are always fascinating to get on this show with what you come up with, because it's absolutely astronomical, to be honest. And as you said, there, New World Order, but I think that's all dead, to be honest. I think there's too many people now. I mean, whatever you say about Trump, that person is actually doing something quite good in the world right now, which people don't realise.
He's quite interesting to watch as well. Like, you know, he does all these messages.
Yeah.
But, you know, he comes across as a bit of a bumbling idiot, but actually he's very intelligent and he knows what he's doing.
Well, there's 39,000 children are now
released
released from underground installations, which is down to Donald Trump. Unlike Boris, who is a bumbling idiot and is not that clever, to be honest. In my opinion.
Where is all of this news in the news? All we see is about the coronavirus. Where's all the other news?
Yes.
About all of this? And they've arrested so many people.
Yeah, they have.
In the last few weeks, and nothing's come out about it. It's just, amazing.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, their news. This news is not news. It's not being broadcast. You know, because that's a battle again. But I do feel Trump, as mad as it sounds, I do feel he's in the good camp here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And obviously, you know, some people have got different opinions, but, you know, he's done more than what other presidents have done. And he's not afraid. He's not afraid to speak out, which, you know, all the others are being quite controlled and have to be careful what they say, whereas he just doesn't care.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so, you know, I feel that sometimes he says things, but he does it deliberately, basically.
Oh yes, he knows exactly. Yeah, what
he's not. He wouldn't be where he is without having some sort of intelligence. Gemma Jane Brooks says, "Cancerian here, listening intently." Cancerian, sorry. So she's going to be very interested to see what you got to say when you say about cancer.
Yeah, when I get to cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, cancers have got an interesting year, really, because, you know, started off with, you know, an eclipse, and then we've got 2 new moons middle of the year in Cancer, and then we end up with a Cancer eclipse. So cancers have got a lot of kind of emotional clearing to kind of do, so they might be really feeling quite emotional at the moment. So, yeah, it's a big year for cancers or cancers rising. But, yeah, I mean, the next week is a really interesting week because we've got 3 planets turning retrograde. It's quite unusual for 3 planets turning retrograde at once. Yeah, we've got Saturn, and Saturn is all about law and order. And he's, you know, turning retrograde. It's quite interesting, you know, that it would be, you know, restrictions being lifted a little bit, and Saturn's turning retrograde tomorrow.
That is really interesting.
Kind of so it's kind of like, you know, it's bringing that energy in, but we do need to be careful because, you know, we're already experiencing, you know, separation from others, and sometimes it can lead to us feeling a bit low in kind of energy. But it is good because it does mean restrictions are going to kind of step back. But it's also a time where people might actually open their eyes and think, "Oh my God, what's going on?" and start rebelling. Yeah. So we're quite likely to see quite a lot of that around the globe.
Well, I feel you are already. I mean, you look at America and other parts of the world.
Yeah, it will build.
It will. I feel it will. We are going to go through a natural revolvement here, I feel. And sometimes with that, you know, it is very much drawn by the energies of the planets, which realistically dictate what we are here in a way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, all the times, you know, things that have changed and everything, it's, you know, the planets have kind of foretold that. Yeah. I mean, Venus is going retrograde, which she often does every 18 months. She turns retrograde. Yeah. And it's normally for 40 days. And it affects love and finances. So obviously, you know, there's all that kind of worry about finances and, you know, relationships. They've always said it's not a good time to plan a wedding or get married. So if anyone's had to cancel, then just know that when you replan it, it'll be much better than what it would have been. So not to be too disheartened about having to cancel it, because the thing is, Venus retrograde kind of foretells that a little bit.
And obviously in the situation we sit in, it's not being spoken about at all, really, which I'm astounded by, to be honest. Is the fact I know that you know, that people are getting paid 80% in their money that are waged, if you like, on salary. People like me and you, obviously self-employed, very different story altogether. But then there is thousands and hundreds of thousands of people out there, millions, in fact, that are actually really struggling and starving, and we're not hearing anything about any of them.
Oh no, yeah, we wouldn't know, would we? Because that's not like, it's not goodness. Well, it's not news that
It's not news they want to show you. No.
So, there is still a lot of self-employed people. The checker that's gone online says I'm not eligible. So I've got to kind of fight to see what's going on there. And apparently there's hundreds and hundreds of people
it's ridiculous.
Are being told they're not eligible, even though we are. So, you know, it's very, and I suppose Venus being retrograde is really going to show that up as well with, you know, finances, you know, and who wants to get a loan to be able to, you know, to end up getting into debt?
Yeah, but I think it's disgusting. They come along and they say, yes, we're going to help you out. It's going to be fantastic and all sorts. We're going to give you these business loans and that, but you're going to have to pay an interest on it. So we're going to make money out of your tragedy. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's
and you know, when we do come out of this, people are going to get taxed. Well, we're going to go. We're going to slump to the 30s. We're going to have a 30s massive depression state in this country and the world. In fact, I feel.
Well, this is where the Saturn and Jupiter comes in as well, because obviously, you know, Saturn's about law and order. Jupiter is about spirituality. It's about the economy. It's, you know, it's about religion and everything like that. So with it going retrograde, it's going to, you know, things will kind of turn. Do you know what I mean? So the government is trying to be quite happy about it. Oh, it's okay. But, you know, the next 5 months will be the testing time of knowing, you know, what's going to happen there, because Jupiter is normally jovial, but when it's retrograde, it you know, slows down a little bit, and the optimism isn't so high. But it does give us a chance to reevaluate our goals, and gives us time to reflect and re-examine where we are in life and where we want to go. So, you know, it's quite a nice kind of period. But yeah, Venus is going to be retrograde is quite a tricky period. So be aware, you know, everyone needs to be aware that people might come up from the past out of the blues, so like exes and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but they might disappear quickly as they come in. So, and you could spend money on something that you can't afford. So it's just, be careful.
My cousin is 60 this year. You won't mind me saying that. 60th birthday, and it's strange enough because it's in November. His birthday is the 26th of November, and mine happens to be the 27th of November. I'm not 60, I'm only 32. But
yeah, of course you are.
but he was looking at, obviously, because they're so close next to each other, he's looking at a joint celebration. Do you see anything within the stars in November, that being a possibility? He's talking about going to the pub, by the way. So, you know, we're obviously being a pub by then, I would imagine.
About whether he's going to be able to go in a pub by
Yes,
November.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, this is my only thing. I've just always had this thing that, you know, by October, things might change again. I do think they will start opening up again, maybe August time, but it's, who knows?
The thing is that they can play a game here, can't they? They can play cards here, can't they? With anyone, really, with all of us, because they can say something even if it isn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I do think they have to start opening things again, because people will just lose the plot and go insane. So
it happened to me a long time ago. Yeah. And so, wow, I mean, that's an enormous amount of information you gave there. Thank you very much for that. And what's happening to the stars this month for the people listening out there?
Okay, so going through the horoscopes. So starting with Aries. So communication is key for you this month, and you may get a chance to go for a promotion at work or have an opportunity for better pay, despite all what's going on. So just, you know, be aware things might get better for you. You're needing less drama in your life and happy to walk away from anyone that causes any. The full moon just gone. You may have been thinking about property or shared resources. Good time to sort out any paperwork. Money may come in an unexpected way. So if you are struggling, then, there might be some rewards for you. The new moon on the 22nd, you may hear some news regarding a neighbour or a sibling. When your ruling planet Mars moves mid-month, try not to look too much to the past. Instead, think about all the achievements you have made to help you to have faith in the future. So just keep looking forward. For Taurus, you'll find it easy to say what is on your mind this month, especially if you need to stand up for yourself. And normally not one to like change, will be craving some freedom. The full moon just gone, relationships may have been put in the spotlight. So if you're feeling a bit jealous or upset, then it's better to talk about it and keep it inside. Money matters may be on your mind, and you'll be thinking about how you can plan for the future, especially on the 22nd at the new moon. Do not be tempted to splash out on big items. Your ruling planet Venus turns retrograde this month in your house of finances. You'll be craving security and may be overly concerned about money. Be aware that you could be misunderstood, or you'll feel frustrated that people will not commit to your plans. So just go with the flow a little bit. Gemini, this month you'll start to feel revived. You may be thinking about changing your hair colour, getting a tattoo, or indulging in beauty. At the full moon, you may have been looking at your health regimes and sorting out any paperwork. The full moon on the 22nd, you'll be feeling in a flirty mood, but make sure that you're not leading someone else on, as you may break a few hearts. Make sure that you accept any compliments. You'll be looking good, so make sure if others pay you a compliment to accept it gracefully. If anything like my nan, who is a Gemini, she'd go, "I'm bleating ugly." So it's just like, just go, "Thank you." You don't have to say that. Cancer, you may be feeling like you want to retreat this month and could have been overdoing it lately. So make sure that you take time for rest. The full moon on the 7th, you may have been in a creative mood and like time with children or pets. Your intuition and psychic abilities will be heightened at the moment, so make sure you keep a diary of all that happens in your dreams and any visions. Relationships may be feeling intense. Be open to the love from others, but stay true to yourself. The new moon on the 22nd encourages you to take some time out and read a good book to help you switch off. Leo, you're in the mood for socialising and partying, but will be feeling restricted, so instead end up feeling tempted to do something that you know you shouldn't. Resist texting that ex or eating a whole chocolate cake, and you'll feel better for it. The full moon on the 7th, you may have wanted to just chill out in the home and had a duvet day and watching an old movie, just taking time out for you. The new moon on the 22nd. I
love duvet days. Great. I don't do them very often, but I love them.
We all need them.
Yeah.
The new moon on the 22nd is your best moon to think about your wishes for the year ahead. Then make a list of all your dreams and goals. Friends will be important to you at this time and may be a shoulder for someone to cry on. Virgo, you are itching to get back into a normal working routine, but this period has taught you to slow down and set boundaries. It is possible you have found time to set up your own veg garden or plant a tree. You may also be thinking about planning a getaway, obviously, in the near future. The full moon, you may have been taking lots of phone calls and emails. The new moon on the 22nd puts your career into focus and may be thinking about new ways of working and reaching out to others. Libra, you're itching to travel or learn something new this month, and if there are any family feuds going on, now is the time for forgiving. Your planet Venus turning retrograde this month will give you an opportunity to get organised and get on top of everyday tasks. Try and set some time just for you each day where you can meditate. The full moon on the 7th, money may have been on your mind, and you may have got some good news regarding money that is owed to you, or if you were discussing about getting a loan or moving a house. The new moon on the 22nd is a great day to start something new, and you're likely to be opening yourself up spiritually. It's a good time to connect with crystals. Scorpio, you're thinking deeply this month about outer worldly subjects and may be doing a lot of researching into something you're passionate about. The full moon on the 7th, it was in your own sign and may have brought you back some passionate romance and feeling in a positive mood. The new moon on the 22nd is a great time to talk about your shared resources partner and what you would like from the future. You may be feeling more emotional than usual and picking up on others' vibes, so make sure you put up a shield of protection. Sagittarius.
What a great sign, by the way, Sagittarius is.
Relationships may be confusing this month. Not everyone you meet will be who they seem, and you may feel unsure of where you stand with someone. You may have been feeling your self-esteem has had a battering of late. Make sure you're kind to yourself, cook nice meals, and even if you have nowhere to go, dress well. So don't always put your pajamas on, Clint.
No, I haven't got any, actually.
The full moon on the 7th, you may have wanted to take some time out to retreat, switch off your phone and do something creative. The new moon on the 22nd, you may get a surprise in a relationship where you could have a disagreement with a loved one. It's a good time to let someone know how you're truly feeling. Capricorn, this month you'll be wanting to get yourself organised. Whether it's connected to work or your health, you will have the drive and stamina to follow a routine. It is time to use your creativity, so a good time to take up some sort of craft or pottery. You may meet someone who is not deemed your normal type, and you're intrigued to find out more. The full moon on the 7th, you may have been feeling sociable and flirty. The new moon on the 22nd encourages you to start a new routine and make a plan for the months ahead. Aquarius, with Saturn in your sign, you're feeling a lot more grounded than you have of late, and probably appreciated the downtime to relook at your plans. You may be drawn to learning about your ancestry or past lives. You're feeling creative this month and may learn something new. The full moon could have indicated that you've been putting too much pressure on yourself when it comes to your work. It might be time for something new or letting go of a project that's taking up too much of your time. The new moon on the 22nd, the home is where your heart is. You'll be spending time around your home, either redecorating, planting seeds, or tidying. And Pisces, you may... Oh, sorry, I've...
That's right, you're okay.
There you go. Yeah. You may have some projects to be getting on with inside the home this month and have lots of plans. Make sure that you discuss with a partner for pursuing to make sure you're in agreement. The full moon on the 7th, you were probably in a good mood for going somewhere new and different. Obviously, if you couldn't at this time, then it's a nice time to plan ahead or make a vision board. The new moon on the 22nd, you may have you thinking about the past and worrying about family members. Remember that they need to take responsibility for their own actions. You cannot save them. They need to find their own way, and neither is any of the problems your fault.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Absolutely. I could feel the energy of all that. And I haven't said this before, but I should have done, is the fact that, please, you've obviously got that in some sort of podcast, or you've got it in some format on your wall, I'm sure. Please share it to my wall.
Oh, yes, I will do.
Do that every single time. That'd be great. Yes. I'd like to say Gemma Jane Brooks, who's a Cancer, was eagerly waiting to see what you said. And she come back and said, bang on, reference Cancer. And she said, spookily bang on.
Oh, well, that's always good to hear.
Yeah.
But, it's always good to know your ascendant and your sun sign, because, the ascendant can tell you,
and Matthew John says, thank you very much. And Richard Devaney says hello to me and you.
Hello, Richard.
Tracy Parsons said that she was a Gemini. I forgot to read that out. So she would have got the knowledge that you sent through to her. And Gemma Jane Brooks says, thank you very much. Wow. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's quite remarkable, really, because, in a way, people think, well, there's nothing going on at all. But clearly, there is loads going on, isn't there?
There is. And, it's internally as well, isn't it? It's like we can be not doing anything, but there's always stuff going on.
Yeah. And that's why we feel the energy sometimes are very dense, and sometimes they're very high. And sometimes we can do things, and sometimes we can't do things. And sometimes we have to stop and look at ourselves and take a bit of time out.
Yeah, and sometimes when you forget to look at the astrology of things, and then you look up and you're like, oh, actually that's why that happened. Sometimes when we have, obviously our own individual charts have a much bigger impact, but sometimes when we have like a little accident, or there's lots of people that are shouty and angry, there's normally something going on in the stars that are affecting people and their mood. So yeah.
Tracy Parsons says it's not good at all. People get what they get, obviously. Self-employed people with premises get 10,000. Sole traders sod all.
Yeah, I know, and it's, you know, obviously there was the update today, but what does it say about, you know, people that work on a one-to-one basis? You know, therapists, you know, so many different people.
Yeah.
Just not even mentioned about, you know, how they're going to get back to work.
I know.
Yeah, so it's, yeah, and even, you know, the hospitality industry, it doesn't really tell them anything.
No.
So yeah, it's confusing.
Paul Lewis said, "Evening, Clint. I've just had my 50th in Taurus."
Yeah, so many Taurus. I'm a Taurus as well. So yeah, happy birthday, Lewis.
Wow.
Paul Lewis, and he calls himself Lou Lewis, doesn't he, as well?
That's right. It is Lou Lewis.
Yeah.
Yes. And our Caroline Lewis. Obviously, we're late. Caroline Lewis on in a minute, actually.
Oh, okay.
Richard Devaney says, "It's Michelle. Hi, had my birth chart done by Teresa. It's awesome."
Oh, bless her.
Well, that's
Yeah,
lovely.
I've been quite busy with birth charts, which has been really good for me because obviously I am still getting some kind of income. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I mean, it's always an honour and that to have you on here. I'll tell you, with us every month, telling us, please, every month, share or anything. You know, share it to my wall of what's going on, so people can look at it at any point. And obviously, you know, everyone to be in the know. Then, you know what I mean?
Yes, I will do.
Brilliant. Okay, and you stay safe as well. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I hope we all meet up soon. That'd be really good.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long now.
It may not be till 2028, but you know, it's. I'm sure it won't be. All right. Thank you, Teresa. Take care.
Right. Take care.
Thanks a lot. No worries.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. What a lovely lady, Teresa Sell. Unbelievable what she brings with astrology every month. And you know, when you're listening to it, you're getting the energy of it. Do you know what I mean? And even if it's not your star, you're feeling the energy. And certainly what she's talking about with the planets and that as well. We have got Caroline Lewis coming up next. I just want to, there's a few things I didn't read out here that I want to go back to just before I do that. Where are we? To have an opposite, I've read that. Matthew says, once you look beyond the veil, you can't go back. Everything we're taught is a lie. And he said, it's lovely to hear you, Karen. And it's interesting because I said about KFC's all opening. Jan Cardi said, that's great, isn't it? Opening McDonald's, KFC, etc. Rubbish food, which will make people put weight on and not help their mental health. Crap food. Matthew says, Jan, the stuff pumped with rubbish, especially aspartame in Pepsi. Matthew John loved it. I got a 4 and a 6 in the moon when I took pictures. Matthew John says, I've been social distancing for years. I think it's amazing that everyone else is having to go through self-reflection, knowing that everything we're taught is lies. The coronavirus is no different. I absolutely agree with you, because I do feel very strongly that our history, what you know, what you've been taught at school, is an absolute pile of shite, to be honest. It's not real. Matthew John says also, the world is full of bread and circuses, and it's a bad time. We all took time to look within and sort out our issues. I never heard that. The world is full of bread and circuses. Sort out our issues. When we look to the system, it's our knowledge of the system that needs to change. And he says that I find if anyone has millions of followers, then they're controlled opposition, as they own both sides of all the systems. They only let you see what they want. Even Ike, he's saying, is controlled here. Well, I agree with that as well. I don't disagree. I think David Icke is quite a few times. I've been on the same bill as him as well. But, you know, when you get very big and you have a following like that, then there is a tendency of being purloined in one shape or another. We have got 2 more guests coming up. We have got Caroline Lewis coming up next. She is going to ring in at any point on my phone. Caroline Lewis has never been on the show before. We are well late. We're supposed to ring her up at 22, but never mind. She's a multi-dimensional healer, spiritual coach, and self-development mentor. She's also with Louis Lewis, Paul Lewis, who's on just now, and celebrated his 50th birthday this week. Hello, Caroline. Are you there? Oh, maybe it wasn't Caroline. Maybe there's somebody else trying to go. Let me bring that number back. Oh, here we go. Hello, is that Caroline?
Yay! Hello.
Hello, Caroline. How are you? It's great to have you on. I know you haven't been on this show before. We'll be gentle with you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Have you been listening to the show? What do you think of it?
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
I do learn quite a lot from it. So yeah, really, really good and informative.
Yeah, and obviously you're with an immense, both of you immense people, and I met you loads of times at fairs. I regard you both very good friends. Paul Lewis, Louis Lewis, what a lovely guy he is. Absolute blinding guy. And 50 this week. And I see you did a cake and everything for him and that as well. And it's fantastic you agreed to come on, because once you've been on here, it is really nothing to worry about. We just sit here and have a chat, really.
Yeah, I feel really honoured that you've invited me to have a chat online live. So
Yeah, well,
really,
why not?
really,
You know, why not? It's open for everyone. I mean, you know, you've been working on the circuit a long time. You've been working in spirituality a long time. And obviously you have a truth about you as well. And, you know, as you've grown, you've seen things, and obviously where we sit now, we sit in a difficult place, which is separation from people. But on your journey, how did you start your journey? How did that happen?
It's a very interesting one, actually. I guess we'll just start from the beginning. I was very aware of energy, if you will, as a child.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing orbs and lights moving around the room. And I was just very aware, you know, very acutely aware of energies that were around me. I just remember my parents and friends and family thinking I was a bit of a daydreamer, but I guess I was to some degree, but a lot of it was I was just sort of seeing things and aware of things, but I just couldn't explain or relate to anyone.
No, I know. I was just going to say, I bet you felt you didn't fit in. I bet you felt very different.
Yeah,
and when you went to school, it was a terrifying experience being surrounded by aliens.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just I wasn't frightened by anything. That's the weird thing. Mind you, though, I said that, but sort of having moved home around, I'd say probably around the age 6. I'll never forget it. I could feel this energy, this person. It's definitely male, and he used to chase after me every time I ran into the loo and back out of the loo back to my bedroom, and I really did not like it. It's just his energy was just a little bit creepy, but I was just aware of that energy around me. It was really, really weird. And then for years, I don't know. I guess my gifts went unnurtured because the people I obviously had around me were very unaware. What I call kind of muggle, if you will.
Muggles, yes.
Yeah. I don't mean that in a condescending way. But just
they're just not switched on.
Not aware like I was.
Yeah.
I was definitely the odd child in the family, if you will, but I'm sure there are plenty of other people that can relate to that. It wasn't until some years later, I think it was about 2003, I met with someone who was like-minded like I was. And people spoke to myself and my partner at the time about Reiki healing. Right. And I guess my spiritual development, and that all started from then onwards. So from 2003 onwards, I started on a long journey of self-healing and spiritual development, but it was the healing that was really profound when I started that journey, because it brought up a lot of stuff, as it does with everyone. Yeah. Which is quite perfectly normal, although it doesn't feel like that at the time.
No. We as we do, And obviously, as you evolve and grow, then Spirit says, well, you've got to go out there and do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I spent probably between 2003 and God, it was for a long time. I didn't really do an awful lot of healing on other people in the early years, because I spent most of it actually working on myself.
Yeah.
Which, to be perfectly honest with you, is probably not a bad thing, because if you don't work on yourself,
absolutely,
how can you expect to heal and understand other people's ailments, whether it be emotional, mental,
that is so true, but people do not take that in consideration. Our journeys are never easy ones. Never easy ones that are spiritual people, that are defined people like you are now, and we have to work with ourselves, and it takes a long time. It took me a long time. Took me 17 years at least before I started to even have an understanding. And even those strange things happen, like yourself, really, in a way, but they're normal things that would happen. And when your soul birthed into the body you're in, and you come onto this planet, you go into family you're in that realistically aren't connected to you. As you grow older, you can see you're not connected to them anywhere near as what you were, and that you delve more into you, and you go into your place of, as you call, self-healing. And after that journey, and at a point, Spirit says to you that it's time now that you should go out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what I enjoy the most now is actually sharing those tools and techniques with people.
Yes.
On a one-to-one or group basis.
Yeah.
Oh, did your phone go there?
Yeah, it did. It fell out. Sorry, did you bump on the head? It fell over. Sorry about that. That's all right.
That's all right. Sounded like a bucket of crisps. I was like, oh, we've got crisps.
No.
Yeah, what was I saying now?
So when you first went out there, that must have been, this is you putting your trust totally in what you are.
Oh God, yeah, it was really scary, and I was so nervous. I remember, especially when I did my first fair, and I think I was quite timid, and didn't know what to kind of say to people really initially when I did my first fair. That would have been back in Southampton then. But once I obviously got into it, and I just trusted myself, put a lot of trust in myself and my guides and what I was doing. I really, really got into it, really enjoyed it. And it feels so good to see the change in people before and after they've had their treatment, the transformation. It's absolutely amazing. But I think a lot of initially people they haven't had healing before. Some people get this concept of like, oh, I'll just have a healing, everything will be fine. It doesn't quite work.
No,
like
it doesn't. No,
because you need to constantly work on yourself.
Yeah.
All the time.
I mean, we can come along, like I come in readings or do healings like yourself or whatever, and you do healings on that person, but that's maybe clearing a layer. But that's to clear a layer so they can delve deeper to clear out whatever else is there. And we're in a constant flux state of change ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to sort of give you a personal example, which I don't mind sharing, is addiction. That's probably a really strong one to work on, because I've had patterns of addiction where it involves substance like years ago.
Yeah.
Also addictive behaviour, addictive patterns which are learned from your parents and peers and friends and family around you.
Yeah.
And that's taken a number of years to obviously work through that. But
it's a massive unraveling, and thank you for sharing that, because that is look, everyone to get where they are have had to step into different realms. It's not been easy. It's not easy. It's really not. And when people think, and you know yourself, and when people come to me, they almost want it on a plate. I just want to pick it off a shelf in Tesco's. There, I'm fixed now. No, you're not. It's you have to go through the suffrage. I know, there's been in most people's points when they've been
Yeah.
going through their change cycle, they would have got to points where they would have thought, is it worth being here at times? Because you would be taken into very low depths. And that may be under any form of anything from control from people around you to substances you might have taken at a time, or drink, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is, you're here.
Yeah, and you have to, I think you have, well, don't have to, but people obviously go through very individual, different experiences.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to go through the dark, come out through the light.
Yes, completely.
And
How on earth can you help anyone?
Help others.
Yeah, how can you help anyone that is say walked in, or they have shadow energy, or they have control by containment of someone else that's controlling their energy, controlling their autoretic systems, their inner systems, controlling them inside to lock them up? How can you actually help them if you haven't been on that side? That's absolutely right.
It does help you kind of sort of, you've got those foundational stones that will enable you to empower and help others when they're ready to come to you for healing. You can't make people, it's like taking a horse to a water.
No, you
make
can't.
a drink. But when that person's ready, they will come to you, and they'll know you're the right person to come to for help and support, because they can relate to you. They understand you. They know you understand where they're coming from.
The connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is down to very much also the fact that all these people that come to you are people you've met before in past. You've helped them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a bit like the quick fix that people want in this reality in relation to where we sit with all the problems of what we're going through. The same thing in a way. And, people don't want to sit in this zone that we sit in, which really is reflective state. People don't want to look at themselves. People fill their lives up with, I'm going to go and buy a nice car, nice clothes. I'm going clubbing. I'm going this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. Oh, I haven't got time to talk to you. I haven't got time to do that. And I haven't got time for me. And when you say, well, you must have some time for yourself. Oh, no, I haven't got any time for myself. That's the people I'm talking about that now sit in their little houses under house arrest, having to go through enormous pain structures within inside themselves because they can't do the things they wanted to do.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Because it isn't hard if once you break down the barriers, you actually can open an enormous amount quite quickly in you. And this stuff needs to be taught at root level at school.
Yeah, always back to basics is really, really good.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes we have to go back to leap forward.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. 2 steps back, 1 step forward type thing. Yeah. How
have you found it in lockdown yourself? How have you found that, you and Louis and that?
Lockdown, I've kind of focused my energy on creativity and doing things that I normally wouldn't have time for.
Yeah.
Or haven't done for years, and sort of re-picked back up.
Yeah.
And also, I've been doing a lot of self-development, working on myself. This is a great, I see this really good opportunity to actually go within and look at stuff in your life, not just within, but also without as well.
Yeah.
What's important, what's of value, and sort of like strip away bits that aren't necessary, in your life anymore.
Yeah.
And
it comes back to the basics, doesn't it? It comes back to, we need food, we need a house, we need somewhere, we need heat or whatever, and we need a bed, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like Louis was just saying, just keep things simple.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely spot on, really, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. I mean, he's such a lovely guy. I have so much time for not just yourself, but Louis. He is such a nice bloke. He carries such a benevolent spirit. I don't want him to go too red, but he carries such mindful, masterful energy that is very. He carries the energy of peace of the Buddha, and he carries the knowledge and wisdom of the philosophical seer as well. He's a very, very talented, multi-dimensional being. And I know it must.
Yeah.
I mean, even for him, it must have been slightly difficult because I have never met anyone that travels so much as he does, and I know that might be for different reasons, but he's always somewhere, or you're always somewhere different, and obviously you can't be, which is a bit like saying, no, you're not allowed to go and do that.
Yeah, it has been a bit challenging, isn't it? Sort of like you're getting used to sort of a certain way, being a certain way of life and experience.
Yeah.
Suddenly being locked down, we've had to adjust.
Yeah.
As everybody is around the world at the moment, as challenging as it is, you just do, because at the end of the day, things just aren't going to be the old normal anymore. Something's going to change.
Well, it will.
Changing.
It can't stay. It can't go back to what it was, because what it was didn't work, because it was like the last day of Atlantis, really. It's imploding on itself. It's greed, lust, wealth, all of the worst traits, and control. And in a way, I mean, obviously at the moment, they're dangling a carrot in front of us saying that it will be better. It will be better. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that won't see that, because we're still there's a lot of people that are finding it very difficult to be contained. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. It has woken up a large proportion of people, but there's still a lot of proportion of people that are still asleep.
Sheep, muggles.
Not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on.
Yeah,
and
because
it's those people that are going to really struggle and need a lot of our support, and that's where we need to hold the light, hold the space for these people. They're really not understanding it quite yet.
Yeah. And I feel that comes down to the fact that, you can put what we sit in a way as an example of what we've been through personally, but we're going through as a whole consciousness in the
whole collective.
Yeah, in what we've been through in our own journey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And unfortunately, those that are in power, stupid Boris and his clowns, and this country, and there's others in other countries, but I'm looking at this country because this is where we live, is in charge of the Titanic Earth. And unfortunately, we're not going to hit an iceberg, we're going to hit a mountain, and it's going to come around his ears, because the only way that things are going to change here, yes, we can do all the spiritual work in the world, but there has to be something in a physical happen as well. And I do feel
absolutely. There needs to be a big stand, a lot of people sort of coming together on this.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm not here saying we must revolt, but I feel that it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. And I do feel that it's gone. They have no idea. Look, Caroline, you know as well as I do, these people have no idea what we're about at all. They're so programmed. They're so programmed, they're lost.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Bless them.
And these are in charge of people. It's like putting Jack the Ripper in charge of a school of girls.
Oh God, yeah.
It's complete madness.
Like that, yeah.
But there will be physical change on this plane, because it will naturally happen, because we're free people, supposedly living in a democracy, supposedly. But if you're caught 6 times going outside in your car and you haven't got a good enough excuse, then you're going to get fined £3,200.
Crazy, isn't it? It's all about, a lot of it's all about money as well.
Of course it is.
It's quite sad, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Lewis.
Make the rich richer and the poor poorer. And
but that divide. That divide is absolutely massive, because it's not just the rich. I'm talking about the Queen, the royal family. and those in government that are just, by the way, giving themselves a whacking great pay increase. That's on top of their 10 grand that they've got for working at home, which is all disgusting. But it's about the people, because it is about the millions of people that are now on benefit, waiting for something to happen and see if their job's going to be there. The mental stress, pain, and torture they're going through. Some of one-parent families got 2 or 3 kids. You can imagine that, can't you? Absolute nightmare. A lot of it.
I think what's worrying about this is potentially the which concerns me actually on a personal level, kind of like the amount of like what domestic abuse that's going to be going on at home, and the amount of suicides and people, you know, getting quite violent and depressed, and all the anxiety. It's horrendous, isn't it?
Well, the thing is,
especially, you know, men as well as women, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Both ways. It's horrendous.
There's frustration that builds up within, and that frustration, maybe it's because you know yourself, being with somebody, you've got to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, you may not see each other much before, but now's the time to re-heal, reconnect, and rebuild. But a lot of people don't want to do that. You know, a lot of people don't want to do that at all. They're just waiting to get out the door, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're young,
really
struggling. But there is an even bigger market there, which is the middle income people. These are people that do live in nice house, well, relatively nice. Not that nobody lives in not a nice house, but say they're living in London, and they were working before, and both of them are working, and basically they're only really just paying to live. Basically, they're people that are actually, even before this happened, were going to food banks to get food, basically, or had very little money. Now these people are completely lost here in a vacuum space, because the haves are so far away from them. It's unbelievable, and they're actually very near the have-nots. So, you know, you have got social discourse is what's going on here. Social discourse.
Yeah.
Your lovely partner, Paul. I didn't even realise his name was Paul, but Louis Lewis has said, thank you for your kind words, Clint. That's quite all right. We've been very busy getting ready for a healing tour around the Southwest soon, running workshops and teaching. Wow, what's that all about?
Sorry, what was that again? Say that, run that question. I was distracted by Louis.
That's all right. Was he making funny faces at you? We've been
something like that, yeah.
we've been busy. He said you two have been very busy getting ready for a healing tour around the Southwest soon, running workshops and teaching. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of self-development groups, and also doing I've got various sort of workshops that I do anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to combine energies, you know, divine, masculine, feminine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And work more together and do workshops together and sort of get groups, you know, together and everything to support people.
And obviously, it will be really needed, because I think it'll come at a time when people want to do that, because they'll be coming out of this and needing to be rebalanced and redirected.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it would be nice to share those tools and techniques with people, so that we're kind of like empowering them.
Yeah.
And helping them that way, you know, rather than showing them and doing it. Well, we show them rather than just doing it for them. We empower them with the tools so they can help themselves, and then share it with others. It's the way it should be.
And it is the way it should be. And it's as infectious as a virus, because you show one person, they show 10, they show 100, they show 1,000.
Yeah, at least it'll be a positive virus.
Absolutely. But I mean, wow. I mean, yeah, I've spoken enough about coronavirus anyway, but no, that'd be really good. And obviously, that healing tour might be put a little bit on ice till near the end of the year, I presume, really. Yeah, and or maybe even starting early next year. Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it does all pan out, to be honest, because we all have different ideas, and obviously we have firm ideas within inside ourselves of what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. When this all came about, my immediate reaction was, this is all a hoax. It's rubbish. Do you know what I mean? It's not real.
Yeah.
And you know, that's, in my eyes, been proven really by the ineptness of what we've got. And you see, the problem is that so many people stay where they are for a while until they actually see that a lot of people are actually saying this ain't right, and then things will change. There has to be a physical change as well as metaphysical. And I do feel things like that are,
really cozy.
Yeah, will happen, I feel. We are bombarded with viruses with inside ourselves. You know, you can clean your house to it's clean as anything, but there'll still be something on it. You touch it, you get a germ. You know what I mean? And you go outside, you touch a lamppost, you touch a leaf, someone else might touch that leaf. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is that I think we're going into a nanny state.
With your immune system as well as staying indoors. You're better off being outside in nature.
Yes.
Because it keeps your immune system up.
Yeah. Because in nature, as I said earlier on, the rabbits, you know, the myxomatosis in the rabbit kingdom, all the viruses that sit within nature. You know, we are animals. Now, I know we are an evolved species, but you know, nobody worries about any of that in nature. Do you know what I mean? It's like the 22,000 people that's died of starvation today so far. Nobody worries about that. You know, it doesn't matter.
They don't talk about it, do they?
No, because it's not put in front of your eyes. You know, and it's we live in a shambolic lie. That's what we live in. And what we're here to do, and why you're here, Louis, me, Karen, all these people, everyone that's been on the show and everyone that's connected in different forms are here to show that actually what we're being shown is an absolute lie. And we won't have it. Yeah. I won't have it. So, yeah.
I just don't particularly agree with a lot of things that are on the media, so...
No, well, there's nothing on media. It's all fear porn. But you've been an amazing guest, Caroline. I'm sorry we're so late getting to you.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. No worries.
and you're amazing. And I know Louis
said he'll call you later.
Sorry?
Louis said he'll call you later.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. We're sitting there with a big smile on his face. I know. I think it'd be an amazing guest. Oh, you've been on. It's not that bad, is it?
No, it's fine. It's just like having a
normal chat. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
And now you've been on, we'll get you on again a month or so's time. See what you're up to. See how it's going. Very interested to see what's going on with your healing tour and everything. That'd be really good.
That would be cool. That'd be really good.
And if anyone wants to get hold of you, they can Facebook you at Caroline Lewis.
Yeah. Do you want my business?
Yeah.
One as well?
Yeah, throw it out there.
Business is Conscious Healing 333, but was formerly called Holistic Spiritual Sanctuary, so I've changed the business name.
Great. Yeah, that's good. Brilliant. Well, you've been fantastic. Brilliant. And obviously this is stored on the YouTube channel. This is going to be put on Facebook at any point. If you just want to lift it and put it onto your wall, if you want people to listen to your interview and thing, you can tell them at what time you're on and all sorts of that. And you've been amazing and magic.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for being on there, and thank you for inviting me.
No. Well, you'll be back. I'll be back.
Yes, I'll be back.
All right, Caroline. Thank you very much. Stay safe and look after young Louis, and vice versa as well.
Yeah,
And I will speak to you all soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon. Much love. Take care, Glenn.
Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Caroline Lewis. Never been on anything like this before. Came on tonight and very, very interesting. And yeah, her story very interesting. It's very true. I say it so many times. For us that work in light, as everyone has to go through cataclysmic change for you to come out to be what you are. So maybe here on Earth, what we're going through is not just the silly, bloody, stupid virus thing that they keep going on about, but it's actually the test on this Earth for Earth itself to go through a completion state, if you like, a state of being, to be what it should be, rather than, and to get rid of the toxins, to detox itself, if you like. Now, part of that detox process in nature is ourselves to detox with it as well. So, you know, there's many ways of looking at it. We have one last guest coming up. We're well over time tonight, but it doesn't matter, does it? You know, it doesn't matter. We have a man for all seasons. I have no idea who it is. It could be a woman, actually. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be a being. It could be extraterrestrial, for all I know. But we do have a man for all seasons. See, I've spoken so much, I've got tongue-tied. A man for all seasons, who will be coming up very shortly, who is probably looking to ring us at any time now. I told you about that earlier on. Quite interesting that that was in the newspaper today. 3 Russian doctors plunged mysteriously from windows after criticizing virus failings. They're not here anymore. What other news was I going to tell you? I told you about the sex thing. Prince Andrew was mired in more legal woes last night as he and the Duchess of York face being sued for millions over claims they have missed payments on their luxury chalet. Their luxury chalet, by the way, they're getting sued for £6.7 million. He's got overdue payment on the Swiss lodge for the last 4 months. The couple bought the shares in the property in the Swiss ski resort of Verbia in 2014 for about 13 million, but it's alleged they missed a deadline on the December the 31st by which another chunk of that sum was supposed to be paid. So they are. He's in the cart. But what a surprise. Doesn't surprise anyone, does it really? What else we got here? Facebook. Now, Facebook was created. It's a CIA experiment, basically, originally, to see what we do. We are the most watched people in the world in this country. You're guaranteed that when you can go outside, you're guaranteed to be caught 300 times on cameras somewhere, wherever that may be. Facebook has been accused of being a left-wing enclave. And I can't finish that because we got a man of mystery on, or a man for all seasons, or a galactic warrior, or a galactic woman warrior. Who knows? I don't know who it is. Hello, who's called the Inview tonight?
Hello there. This is Captain Haddock.
Hello, Carl, Captain Haddock. How are you?
Yeah, I'd be fine. I am now.
Have you been listening to the show? Can you get it on your radio type object?
Yeah, I can get it on there. I can get it on the cleanest day. I can.
Wow. And for people out there who don't know who you are, this is Captain Haddock, who left his house in his fishing boat, left his young wife, and went off to go fishing. Obviously, something happened, and he ended up finding a very old, like Mary Celeste type ship, and within that ship, he found a couple of ghosts, didn't you?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
And where are you now? Because the last time we spoke to you, which was a week ago now, you were on an island that you didn't know where you were.
No, exactly right. You know, when I was on the sea there, what happened there was a little bit of a storm was brewing, and then like a whirlpool, and we went off down in the whirlpool, like. You went
down the whirlpool on the island itself.
I went down this whirlpool sort of thing in the middle of the sea.
Really? Wow. Like something out of Jack Sparrow.
I don't know, but anyway, we come up, a few minutes later, and that on this calm sea, and it was right near this coast. So we're up there, and went ashore. Me and Dave 1, Dave 2. Sorry, no, Dave 2. You get Dave 2 back on ship, just in case an early warning, sort of something happened,
Wow.
And if you remember, I was sitting on the beach there with Dave 1 because I can't see him, so I put a T-shirt on him with one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got one on him, yeah, because that's how you tell the difference.
A marker, on the back, so I knew, and a cap and some shorts. So you look funny, you do.
I bet he does. It would make anyone look, wouldn't it, with a T-shirt and a pair of shorts walking about with no body.
Yeah, that's right. And anyway, a lot's happened this week. Oh, God, it's been funny, it has. And it's been rather, how can I say, it's been rather, I won't say terrifying, but it's been rather upsetting.
Really?
Anyway,
you're still on the island, I take it then.
Oh, yeah, still on the island. And see what happened. If you remember when I was thinking about these fish coming out of the water and that.
Oh, that's right. Yes. You watched something happen in seconds, which actually in history took thousands.
Well, yeah, it took millions of years for that happened. And of course, that's if you believe Darwin's theory, you see. But I mean, we don't know anyway.
Because you actually see a fish come out of the sea, grow legs, and walk up the beach.
Yeah, and they walk into the undergrowth. Anyway, it's been a week now, and like 2-3 days after that, I think it was 3 days after that. Anyway, I was out in the undergrowth in the woods and that sort of thing, in the forest bit of this island, and found a place, plenty of water, that sort of thing. And there's just like a track, a road type thing, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird.
Right.
So there was a bank on the side of that. And it's gone on for several hundred yards, well, as far as I could see. But let's go around the corner and that sort of thing, and there's woodland on either side. And I started walking down here, and I could hear this, like a whip cracking.
A whip cracking?
A whip cracking, yeah. So I jumped down the side of the bank there, and there's just several people. I mean, these, I don't know what you describe them. They're like primitive, but they were, they were humanoids, but they're primitive.
All right, like prehistoric type people.
They're two big guys, and they're pulling this cart along, and they had like a wooden cage sort of thing on there, and
right.
2-3 people in that, and then
like prisoners.
And then they had twines like ropes, and then been twined around people.
Weren't you a bit worried at it? Did they see you?
They were trying to walk behind it. See,
right.
They were trying to walk behind it. They were all tied up. They were trying to walk behind it.
Did they see you?
So, no, they didn't see me. So what happened next was every bloke's dream, he said. And what happened next was there was one girl and she fell over and had been dragged. And so she's right at the back, and I jumped up and got my knife and I cut the cord there, the twine.
All right.
And, I rolled over with her over to the other side of the road, so they didn't miss her, And obviously knocked her out, and then started. I put her over my shoulder and started walking along these woods. And then we come up to this little bit of a hill there, and there's this huge tree, I think it's an oak tree. And all of a sudden, we're inside it.
You're inside the oak tree? Yeah. So you walked up to it, and it's like the bark opened.
Yeah, it just, I walked up to it, and whoosh.
And did you have Dave 1 and 2 with you at that time?
No, Dave too. He's on board ship, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, sorry, of course he is. Where's Dave 1 then?
Dave 1, he's around at the moment. He wasn't there. I expect he's scouting around. He'd ask him to scout around, like, you know.
So are you speaking to us from within the tree?
Yeah, that's why it echoes a little bit. I'm speaking to you inside the
It
tree.
does echo, yeah. And what can you see around you?
Well, I have done a few things here. You know, I was usually not out for a day or so, you know, and so what I did is I went into the woods and I got some bits of tree and that sort of branches and that sort of thing and made up like a bed.
Oh, okay, so you can go out of the tree.
You know, a couple of chairs and that sort of thing, whatever. And that, mind you, this inside the tree, I mean, do you remember watching Doctor Who, do we?
No.
I remember watching Doctor Who.
Well, yeah, but what you're saying is that the tree on the outside doesn't look very big, but when you get inside, it's enormous.
Absolutely, yeah, it's weird. And you go out the other end, and there's this huge waterfall.
Is there? What, in the tree?
Yeah, the other side of the tree, there's a big bank and that sort of thing, and there's rocks and whatever, and then there's a huge waterfall coming over it.
And how does the tree open itself to you? Just is it a door or something?
I don't know. I mean, you're talking to a well, not say simple, but
well, I'm talking to a fisherman that's on the shore walking into trees.
Well, that's it. And I don't understand that. But what I did there, look, I mean, I did climb up a little bit inside the tree, a little bit further up, and I could see over there, and I looked out, and everything's moving around. As soon as I go outside, you know, there's nothing. So I don't understand.
That's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's some kind of, well, you know, I watch Star Trek and things like that before.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? It's a bit like a multiverse dimensional doorway.
Well, I don't know what you want to call it, but I mean, all I know is I went outside and I gathered some wood up and that sort of thing, and there was no bugger around, you know, so I get back in, and I just plonks it on the floor, and I get up the steps I made, like sort of thing like that, like a wooden ladder, and look outside, and there's just weird sort of people in here and everywhere. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on?
I'm enthralled.
These people are so primitive. Really are, like, you know, I mean, everything's made of wood. You've got wooden cartwheels, wooden this, wooden that.
They're round though, are they?
Are they what, sorry?
Are they round wheels?
What wheels?
Round. Are they round or square?
No, they ain't square. They wouldn't go nowhere else, would they? No, they're round wheels. So, you know.
Have you still got the girl with you, have you?
Yeah, she's still here, you know.
Has she woke up yet?
No, well, she woke up. Well, I don't want to go into that, really.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Well, all right, as you're crying, you must cry, I suppose. She woke up yesterday, and the first thing was she just screamed at the top of her voice. It's weird. It was like a howl.
Yeah, when she looked at you?
And I had to put my hand over her mouth and say, whoa. I'll go out. Friend, kind.
Yeah, well, mate, she probably can't understand your language.
Well, this is it, you know. And so, you know, I managed to calm her down and, you know, do finger things like, this is me, this is you, you know, I'm sort of trying to be friendly and all that sort of thing. And, you know, she eventually got it. And what I'm trying to ascertain is, you know, what's going on, like, you know, because...
oh, yeah. Well, she's gone back to sleep now, has she?
No, she ain't gone back. She's down in the shower at the moment.
She's in... Hang on a minute. Did you build a shower out of wood?
No. I told you, it's a waterfall.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So
yeah.
She's underneath the waterfall.
So she's outside in the waterfall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie Johnson wants to know, right? Now, I know you're there, and I know you can't run these out yet, but Debbie Johnson, who's watching, listening at the moment, says, "I want a Dave 1 and Dave 2 T-shirt. Will you be selling them online when you get back?"
Well, one never knows. I mean, that's if I get back. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get back. I mean,
well, you don't even know where you are, do you?
I ain't got a bloody clue.
I mean, it sounds like to me you've gone back in time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I got. Like I say, I've seen Doctor Who's and I've seen those Star Treks and I've seen all sorts of science fiction films. Well, this is totally different here because like I say to you last week, I've seen these fish and they're coming out the sea and they're walking again, and they're walking up like that, like evolution is starting again.
Well, you're watching millions of years of evolution in seconds.
Yeah, but after 2 or 3 days, right? I mean, you've got to like humanoids and that sort of thing, but they haven't, looked out a couple of days ago, and they haven't progressed at all since then. Now, that's the positive thing. You would think that, at that rate, that would be, I don't know what.
Maybe they're a tribe of Borises.
I don't know about Borises, but I don't know where I am. I don't know whether this is evolution, accelerated from.
Yeah, but you haven't seen any acceleration of evolution with these people or this girl, because she's still the same, isn't she?
Yeah, she's been the same the last few days. This is what I can't understand. See, I mean, I'm just a Cornish fisherman, like, we've seen a few sci-fi movies.
That's just unbelievable. You're a Cornish fisherman that is in the tree that looks small, but when you're in, it's massive. You're with Dave 1, who is around there somewhere, who's walking around.
He's gathering info. I don't know when he's going to be back.
Yeah, and you have this humanoid type person there that's prehistoric, a woman that's now showering in the waterfall.
I must say this though, boy, she's handsome.
Wow, I'm sure. Maybe you could be the missing link.
I don't know, but there is something missing.
Are you gonna teach her how to speak your language?
Well, that's what I intend to do in the next couple of days or so, because it's weird. I looked outside again, and there's nothing. And
what you mean when you look out the tree? There's nothing out there.
Well, yeah, there's forests and all that sort of thing, but there was earlier. There was people all around looking for her, something like that. But there's nothing out there at all.
Well, but isn't it a bit dangerous, her being out there on her own? Because she could get snatched.
No, you don't understand. What we got here is a tree of birds, right? Got an opening, and you got this shower.
Oh, it's in the tree.
So she's behind the waterfall.
Right. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's like this big long platform, and it's quite wide.
That must be amazing.
Yeah, so no one can see her from the other side of like the ridge or anything like that, because all they see is the water coming down.
Did you actually open a door? Did you? Sorry, did you open a door to go in it, or did you just walk in it?
I just walked towards this tree, and then all of a sudden he was in it.
I'll tell you what, the scientific world will be sitting on the edge of their seats, and nobody's come looking for you yet, have they? You haven't got radar on your ship, have you?
No, to be quite honest with you, Clint, I mean, I ain't had much of a life. We're reared up, going to school, in Navigacy, and getting brought up on the trawlers, whether with my dad and that sort of thing, and going out. Never really seeing the world and all that. But
well, it must be very exciting for you.
When you get this sort of thing going on, like, you ain't got a clue what's going on. You just go. You just ride it for what it's worth, like, And, if I ever get bad, if no one ever believes me, I ain't give a shit, because I know what happened, and, it's within me, like, and it's just unbelievable. You know,
Well, you're going for it.
Would I go back or not? You know.
Well, I feel that the way you're talking, I feel this is quite evolutionary for you, because I feel that if you went back, you would be going backwards, whereas where you are, you could potentially go forwards.
I can go anywhere. You know, in my, it's almost like, you know, when you're a kid, you imagine this and you imagine that, and you want to do this and want to do that. You know, some people wanted to be an ice cream man, some people wanted to be a bloody race driver. I just wanted, all I wanted to do was be happy and explore. You know,
Yeah.
and I never had that opportunity, but now I've got it. You know, it's weird, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go. You know, I know it sounds strange, but I got this communication with you, with that sort of thing, but I don't want to go back. I know I've got a lovely 30-year-old lady at work, at home, you know, my wife and that, but these sort of things don't come along.
Well, they don't come along at all normally.
So, you know, besides, I don't know, when I go back there, and it might only be 10 minutes gone, like, you know.
Well, that's true. You could have a whole lifetime there, but go back and it's only seconds.
It's absolutely, you know, I ain't got a clue. I don't even know what it is since the beginning of this planetoid, you know, Earth, or whether it's another dimensional Earth or something.
I think it's remarkable.
All I know is I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to go out there and explore. Yes, there's got to be some difficulties out there. There's got to be some friction.
Yeah.
You know, I could have, you know, which I anticipate in that sort of thing.
You're quite a good carpenter for a fisherman as well, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because I'm good with the old knife and that sort of thing. You know, you got a chopper and that. I did bring a few supplies.
Yeah.
From the trawler, like, you know, you just never know, do we?
Well, no, you don't. And is there food around there? Is there?
Well, that's pretty well. Food, and I don't have, you know, meat and nothing like that yet. I don't know whether there is any, but I've had plenty of these big, they're like watermelon type things. They're growing on trees and that sort of thing.
Right.
One or two of them.
They sound quite good.
Well, yeah, and I did observe, you know, one or two, I don't know what you want to call them. They're weird sort of creatures. They rang up these trees and they bit the cord that they hang from, and they're split on the ground, and they started drinking out of it, like, you know.
Really?
And eat a little bit of it, and then I went off. They're weird, they're like lizard type things, you know.
Oh.
So I thought, well,
aren't you worried about these people coming back?
If they can eat them, that sort of thing, well, maybe you know, it'll be all right for me, like, you know.
Yes.
So I climbed out one or two of these trees and cut these things down, and lo and behold, we're getting back into the tree, like, you know, and they're lovely.
Wow.
They're lovely, you know. It's weird because they taste. I don't know how to explain this, but it's almost like if you would imagine it tasting like a steak, it would taste like a steak. If you imagine it tastes like chicken, it would taste like a chicken.
Wow.
You know, it's weird.
That is very weird.
I don't understand it.
So it's almost like your intention, it tastes whatever your intention is.
Yeah, it seems like that. But, you know, I don't really understand that too much. But,
yeah, I do. I can understand it, yeah.
You know, so it's almost like, you know, like you say, a bit more intention. So, you know, always quite a nice sort of, like, how can I put it, like a native woman, that sort of thing. And there's one who I had to go and rescue. So, you know, I go and bring one back. And then it's food, and that I can get. It always wanted something that always tastes what I like, you know.
Yeah,
it's strange, isn't it?
It is, and you know, aren't you worried about these people coming back?
No, I ain't worried about that because they can't get in here, and that's because they were surrounded around the area, that sort of thing, but they couldn't come in. They couldn't find us.
Wow.
Like, you know, then they went off. So I
think it's absolutely remarkable. And are they like normal trees where you are in grass, is it?
Well, it's called normal trees. I mean, they're trees. I mean, I haven't looked at them that closely. I did see a big oak, which is where I am, but they don't know about any other normal trees, what you call normal trees.
I mean, anything. Your journey's only just beginning, isn't it?
It's what, sorry?
Your journey's only just beginning.
Mate, it's only just started.
I don't think you're probably going to get back out on your boat, are you?
No, if it carries on like it is, I don't really want it. You know, but I mean, you have to wait for Dave 1 to come back. He should be due back in the next couple of hours or so. I think it won't be too long. And so, you know, you only look around and that sort of thing. But no, I probably won't.
And obviously you'll have to go and get Dave too, won't he?
No, we want him to go and get Dave 2. I mean, Dave 2 will just arrive when he wants to, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, he might go off in your boat.
Well, how can a ghost steer a boat, then? God, no. What do you want?
That's very true. But, you know, stranger things have happened, hasn't it?
Well, it certainly has. Stranger things have happened. Donald Trump president.
Well, yes, that is pretty strange. And that, I mean, obviously, is because I don't even know what time of year you're from. What year were you in when you left Mega Gigibby?
Gizzy. Where I left what? Excuse me.
Oh dear.
I left what? Around about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. When that was whatever date that was.
Okay, so it's in the year, in our year 2020.
Oh, yeah, it was in 2020. I got no idea what year.
Well, you got out of it before coronavirus come along. So I mean, coronavirus.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
And you know, you're on it sounds like an idyllic island where you managed to save a woman that's showering at the moment that's very beautiful, and you've got a ghost that's going to touch base with you shortly, and you've got another ghost that's out in the ocean that'll be sitting there for a very long time, I think.
No, he'll be coming, you know, as soon as Dave 1 comes back, Dave 2 will come back. And as far as coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, I mean, yeah, I've heard about that. I mean, I think you mentioned it last time we spoke.
I probably did.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever that is, I have no idea. But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does.
No, well, you know, if you don't know what it is, it ain't worth worrying about, is it?
Well, no, I suppose it isn't really. I mean, you know, I should imagine you are well happy at the moment, since, you know.
Well, I'm very happy. You know, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow yet. I mean, see.
Well, is it tomorrow? It might just be a continual day where you are.
I have no idea. You know, days have been strange the last week because they've been short, you know, in the sunlight wise, you know, they've been short.
Does it get dark?
Hours, and then the next day, it's been like 12 hours.
Really?
You know, it's strange, yeah. I ain't got a clue what's going on here, you know, so, but at least we go now and have a look at tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, I got my own psychos, haven't I? I got Dave 1.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, I mean, he'll be able to let me know what's in front of me, what's going on.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's weird. It is strange, but I am loving it because I never had this sort of adventure. I never even dreamed of this adventure when I was a kid or when I was growing up being a fisherman and that sort of thing. This is, oh, yeah, bring it on.
Wow. I think it's fascinating. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And obviously there's going to be a lot of different things that you get up to over the course of the next few weeks, but I'm sure that you will let us know what happens.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it for a couple of weeks, you know, you know, I'll let you know, not next week, I'll let the week after, because the way things are going, things seem to be slowing down a little bit, because after a week, you know, we'll see the fish and all that come out, and they grew legs seemed to be rather accelerated. Now it seems to have slowed down a little bit, and I don't know why. So,
you got me intrigued. I'd like to come there myself.
Oh, well, you'd be more welcome.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you can go out and bloody chop some wood, Matt, can't you?
yeah, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a dream island. It's some of the ways we dreamed of being.
Well, why would you want to leave there then? It sounds perfect.
It is. It's perfect. I mean, I don't know what else going on, and I don't really give a shit, because I'm just enjoying every moment. You know, there's got to be obviously there's got to be some kind of conflict and things like that with whatever out there, but hey, it's part of the cool, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I think you're quite protected, so it'd be interesting to see what does happen with you. It's fascinating.
Well,
I'm sure people listening and watching are absolutely fascinated by what you've been talking about.
I am quite protective. I don't know what with, because when I picked her up on my shoulder and started walking out this sort of a few people started shouting, and then I'm sure they were looking over our way, and but they couldn't see me, so I don't know why.
Well, maybe you're invisible.
I don't know. But that's all I can say about that.
Wow.
It's weird.
Well, we will catch up with you in 2 weeks' time.
We certainly will.
I really look forward to that. Captain had it.
Oh, yeah. Captain had it, and hopefully I will.
It's always great to talk to Captain Haddock on his journeys, which I feel you should be writing a book about because it's quite remarkable. And he's on this island, which, he's in a tree that is absolutely massive inside, and he's saved a woman that is very, very nice looking. She's now having a shower in a waterfall. They don't know where they are, the people that were looking for her. I mean, and obviously it's going to be very interesting when he leaves the place. Well, we will speak to you in a couple of weeks' time, Captain Haddock.
Yeah, I certainly will. I'll let you know exactly what's going on, and maybe even if I understand anything, I might even send you, I don't know what, find you so you can come over.
Well, that'd be interesting, yeah. Imagine doing the interview from there.
No, and you won't want to do anything from where you live or anything like that, but you'll be too engrossed in what's over here.
Well, I'm sure I will. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Captain Haddock.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And take care, and we will speak soon.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Bye. Captain Haddock. Oh, quite remarkable. I was enthralled by what he was saying. Absolutely phenomenal. We will catch up with him in 2 weeks' time and see what he's up to, or not, as the case may be. Just to let you know, on the show next week, and thank you very much to the guests this week, Caroline Lewis, Captain Haddock, Caroline Lewis, Teresa Searle, Karen Jane Price, and Susan Hallwell. What a lineup. What an amazing lineup. As always, the guests on these shows are phenomenal, and you make it what it is out there. Let me tell you who's on the show next Sunday, on this May the 17th. Patrick Gamble, the return of Patrick Gamble, lovely guy. Helen Kernell, Matthew John, and Viv Johnson are all on the show next week. That's Patrick Gamble, Helen Kernell, Matthew John, and Viv Johnson are all back on the show next week. We are looking for people to come on the show all the time. So if you want to do it, please contact us, Facebook us in Messenger, and let us know. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed doing the interview. It's really, really good. It's been reflective, open discussion, and you made it very, very special. And thank you very much for that. Now, if you want to catch up with me again, I will be back. The return, I'll be back on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, where we will be opening the phone line to you, 07403 436 942. Where you can talk about anything you want to, if it's a coronavirus or anything you want to. I'll be bringing a few things to the table, but we'll have a bit of a discussion about certain things, and we'll see Who wants to ring in and talk about whatever? That's 7 o'clock on Thursday. The return of Inview Connect. You've been an amazing audience tonight, and I look forward to joining you all on Thursday. Once again, thanks to all guests and you out there above all. Stay safe and hold your space in this reality. We are going through cataclysmic times, but we will come out. Like we come out of washing machines, clothes come out nice and clean and everything. That's where we're going to sit. See you on Thursday. Have a good one. Stay safe. All right. Thanks a lot.